And we are live. Hello, wow, in that short amount of time, we got 10 more viewers. We have 21 viewers right now. Thank you for joining us. If we'd like to go around and say our names and our character names and a little description, you guys will have been friends in the game as well, so you would know things about each other. So, Lauren, would you like to start by saying your name, your character name, and then race and class?
Oh my gosh, of course. My name's Lauren. My character's name is Nymph Rhea.
Cool.
She's pretty cool. She's a spy. She's a tiefling, warrior, and she's a woman.
Okay.
Did I cover everything?
Yes, you're good. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay. I am Hannah, and I am the Dungeon Master. Savannah, would you like to continue?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Savannah. My character's name is Oramus, and she is a druid wood elf.
Awesome. Spencer?
Hi, I'm Spencer. Hello again, audience. I will be playing Volric Grace. I am a high elf blade singer, and that's a subclass of a wizard.
Awesome. Abigail, and then Chloe next. I need to grab a pencil.
Hi there, my name is Abigail, and I'm playing as Bruin, who is a female Lightfoot halfling. Very excited.
I'm Chloe. I'm playing as Ariel Freya. She is a half-elf glamour bard.
Awesome. Okay, so welcome.
Danny's in chat.
Danny! Yeah, Chloe, you are a little quiet. I don't know if you can get closer on your mic or if I can...
Let me go to my audio settings.
Okay. But everyone else, I heard you good. I'm very excited.
There should be a setting where you can turn up your mic input on your computer.
I don't know what's... Hello? Oh, I see it. I'm turning up the output, but it's not... Oh, is that any better?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm turning it up... Hold on.
I don't know if I can do anything on my end.
Because I'm speaking, but it's only showing the singular red as my output level. I'm not sure why.
Do you have headphones that have a different mic?
Somewhere, but everything is...
Okay, you're good for now because I can still hear you. You're just a little quiet, so maybe we'll just want to be weary of that.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
But you can go ahead and start talking. I can hear you.
Okay, so welcome to the city of Vardolia. Locals and travelers alike like to gather annually for the Harvest Festival of Vardolia. It's full of food, culture, performances, and shops of trade and utility. The Duke and Duchess pick 18 to 20 honored guests each year to enjoy a more private dinner party. Ariel nabbed a performance spot in the festivities and told stories of the party's various adventures and heroic experiences. It gathered both positive attention of the citizens of Ardolia and slots at the private dinner party. You received a fancy invitation, which I will show you. Hee. Esteemed adventurers, you have been cordially invited to the Vardolia estate this evening at sunset for a private dinner. Compliments of the Duke and Duchess of Vardolia. Punctuality and formality is encouraged. I want to wait for Chloe. She completely left. She's just gone.
I'm hearing you. But...
Okay. So, you are very close to the Vardolia estate, and you have been enjoying the festivities. Ariel was performing, there were shops, there was dancers, everything of the sort, and it's nearing sunset. The Vardolia estate is very hard to miss. It's huge. In this map, if I can show you, everything of the evening was in this square, and the Vardolia estate is just up this, alleyway here. The Vardolia estate is quite a spectacular sight. The left wing, center wing, and right wing look as though it is 3 separate estates put together, simply connected by hallways. There's a large roundabout in front of the colossal doors that are currently open with a red velvet carpet laid out. When you enter, or when you approach, there is a squire dressed in red and gold that asks you each how you would like to be announced.
Ooh.
Lauren, how would you like to be announced?
Oh, thank you. I would like to be announced as Nymphreya. Nithreya. Oops. I know my name. Nithreya, the badass bitch.
He hears that and he...
Oh.
Nithreya, the badass bitch. And he announces you and gestures for you to walk forward. Savannah? How would you like to be announced, Savannah?
Yes. Just Oramus is great.
He nods and he says, Oramus. Sir?
Oh, Volric Grace. Don't really have a title or anything, so just Volric.
All right. Volric Grace. Abigail?
I would like to be pronounced as Bruin the Small but Mighty.
Very well. Bruin, the small but mighty. Ariel?
Yes, hi. I would like to be announced as Ariel Freya of... Gosh, where am I from? I don't remember. So just Ariel Freya, like Lady Ariel Freya will do.
Very well. Lady Ariel Freya. He announces you each, and there are 2 servants that open the door to reveal the dining area to you. It is set for 18 people, and you see a few people that are just walking about. The Duke and Duchess don't appear to be there, but you have little name cards at the tables that are meant for you, and you are meant to sit at the end together. There's 2 ladies currently sitting at the table talking to each other, 2 gentlemen by the window, and the Duke and Duchess aren't here just yet. But the servants kind of gesture and say, dinner will be served soon, feel free to socialize. And they bow. As you arrive...
A little curtsy back.
Mm-hmm. You hear... Marielle Beckett. And as you look, a beautiful woman in a long red dress enters. Her hair has clearly been done for the event, and the 2 gentlemen that were by the window, almost run to her to try to assist her in entering. The 2 women at the table have, a disdainful look when she enters. They're just like, ugh, this woman. And she lets them lead her, and she has this gorgeous black necklace. And she passes by you, by the door, and she bows, and she says, hello, my name is Marielle. Who are all of you?
Well, hello, Marielle. My name is Volric. We are a somewhat ragtag group of adventurers. I'm afraid
Adventurers? My goodness. Well, I own the town's bookstore. It's called Marielle's Tall Tales. I've never been an adventurer, but I sure like to read them. Perhaps you'd like to tell me a little bit about what you do?
Why, certainly. I think that the two of us will get along splendidly.
I'm sure we will. And Volric, she does not have a wedding ring, just so you know.
Good to know.
As you're talking, however, the two ladies that were at the table approach, and they kind of have the same look that the equivalent of medieval Regina George might have. And they're like, Marielle, I didn't know you were invited this year. She's like, oh, yes, I've been reading the Duke different stories and bringing him poetry. He quite likes it. That's nice. Larry, Leonardo, a word? And the two men that were escorting her kind of and walk away from her. She is sweating a little bit, and she just kind of fixes her and is like, sorry about that, I'm not what you might call popular.
Can you tell us your favorite tale?
Oh, absolutely. My favorite. I quite like the one of the princess in the tower. You see, she was kidnapped when she was a baby, and she grew up all alone in a tower. But her hair grew so long that she could just leave it out the window, and her mother could climb up, and so could princes. And one day, a prince climbed up and found her. And she'd never interacted with a prince before, and he fell in love with her, and they rescued each other, really. I quite like that one. The thought of being so lonely and imprisoned and able to rescue someone from that, even though they might not be seemingly lonely. You know.
I know how you feel. I was lonely growing up too.
Thank you. As you have this conversation, you hear the doors at the other end of the room open, and you see the Duke just trimmed in gold. He's wearing one of those freaking hair things that, like, is not real, but no one needs to know that. And the Duchess is also wearing gold, and they enter, and the Duke runs over to the group of you, and the Duchess kind of is not very excited with how the Duke is being unprofessional and how excited he is to see all of you. And he bows before you all and says, Ariel, I quite enjoyed your tale of your adventures with this group. I'm so excited you could make it. And
it's my pleasure.
he lifts Mariel's hand and kisses it and says, Mary, I'm so glad you could make it. And she brushes her hair behind her ear and says, I'm very glad to be here, Mr. Duke, and bows.
Well, it's a lovely party so far.
Oh, I'm so glad you think so. Perhaps you could introduce me to the rest of your adventuring crew.
Oh, well, of course, but, you know, they're all competent enough to introduce themselves, so...
Oh.
Of course, of course. And you are? And he gestures to Nithria.
Hi, I'm Nithria.
It is very nice to meet you. I am Lawrence Lovebow, Duke of Vardolia.
Oh, that's a cool name, man.
Thank you. This, and he gestures to his wife, who's kind of been in the back, just like observing, is my wife, Arlette Lovebow. She is the Duchess of Vardolia. Charmed, I'm sure. And she's looking at all of you ladies, really. She doesn't like any other woman. Armis?
Thank you so much for having us. I'm Oramis.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. I love adventurers. You, sir, what is your name?
The name is Volric.
Volric.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for having us. This is all much more than we're used to.
Absolutely. And I must apologize that I have to ask again. We missed the introductions. My wife had a hair emergency, as one might say, and didn't want to enter alone, so I needed to stay behind with her. And you are, and he gestures to you, Abigail.
Hi, my name is Bruin, the small but mighty. What happened to your hair?
Oh, it's just a trend that I'm trying. Do you like it?
I do, I like it a lot.
Thank you. And I know you, Ariel. Well,
Yes.
please, enjoy yourselves. We have a great feast prepared. Perhaps my wife would like to entertain you while I go make sure our other guests are all right.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I'm sure. He walks away and he goes to the 2 men and 2 women that are now on the other side of the room. And she's like, adventurers. You certainly clean up nice.
Well, excuse you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it sounded like you had something in your throat.
Oh, excuse me.
polite.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. So, did my husband invite you all here? Is
Well,
that-
of course.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Pretty much.
Of course. And as she's saying of course, she's kind of like checking out all of you, especially the women. And she's like, of course. Of course he did. Well,
Dungeon Master. I
yes.
want to use minor illusion and make it look as though there is a spot soiled on her gown. And I am just going to, I'm just going to very gently point out, Miss Duchess, I'm afraid that you have a spot.
And she like starts kind of like screaming and she's like and she like runs towards the gate and the 2 servants that were on the other side kind of like feverishly run after her, kind of sweating. The Duke giggles a little bit, and so does Mary, or Mariel, who's standing with you. But she tries to contain it, it is the Duchess. She's like, how did you do that?
Just a simple parlor trick, really. Nothing of
I quite enjoyed it. And the doors open again, and you hear Bixel Cragor, and a kind of hunched black hooded figure enters, and he's kind of like limping a little bit, and he looks at all of you and he's like, hello? Bixel?
Charmed.
Hi, Pixel. My name is Bruin.
Well,
I already like you.
it's very nice to meet you. I was just passing through at the festival, and I do knife tricks, you see, and
Oh.
the Duke quite liked it, so...
Show a trick, show a trick, show a trick.
We want
Oh,
to-
sure, okay. And he kind of pulls out 5 small throwing knives, but he, like, looks around because he's in a very fancy, fancy room. And he's like, alright, well, I won't say anything if you don't about what I'm about to do. Okay. And he, right at the wall, and makes a smiley face out of his knives. Says, anyway, sorry about that. And he kind of like starts to pull them out of the wall, and the Duke is like, and he's just like pulling them one by one out of the wall. Oh, Mary! I didn't know you'd be here. Oh, yes, of course. I wouldn't miss it this year. Right, your new bookshop. Finally got it open. Very happy for you. Thank you. My goodness, I'm getting so many, notifications. Oh, it's Danny. He's gifting everybody things.
He
Like,
just
wow.
gave 5 subs.
Oh, Danny, thank you. Oh my god.
Oh, is Jet watching us?
I think so too. I think he is as well.
Aw, Jet.
And the two men that were on the other side with the two women kind of walk over, and they're like, one of them is wearing brown, and it's like a tan almost, and he's like, hello, my name is Fergus Elfire. You'll have to forgive my wife. She's a very jealous woman. We don't get invited to these things often enough, but I'm the innkeeper in town. Do you guys have a place to stay?
As of right now, no.
Well,
Okay.
I have the Golden Rose Inn. It used to be called the Golden Satyr until the Duchess told me no. But, yeah, it's quite lovely, and we have plenty of room if you would like to stay. I mean, any friend of the Duke is a friend of mine.
Well, I like the sound of roses.
Oh, I'm sure you do. We have plenty of rose decorations. It is the Duchess's favorite, after all.
Oh, I'm
I
so
do like
sorry.
the original name better, but I do need somewhere to stay.
Yeah, that would
Absolutely,
be-
of course. It's really not my place to complain, considering, she invites me to the dinner parties, but, just gather me after the party and I will escort you to my inn. This is my
So you're an
friend.
invitation of the Duchess?
Oh, yes. She quite likes roses, and so whenever she can get a little claws, so to speak, into a business and change the name is always likely.
She doesn't
Sounds
sound
great.
very nice.
Well, I can't really say.
Thank you for indulging us.
Absolutely. You'll have to forgive me. This is not a safe place to speak ill of the Duchess.
Of course.
And he
We'll save it for later.
he giggles and he walks away. The two women that were on the other side walk over, and they kind of because the Duchess is gone, they kind of shrug, and they're just like, one of them is wearing blue. She's like, hello, my name is Maisry. I'm the farmer's wife over there. You'll have to excuse my friend's behavior in front of the Duchess. She wants to seem very proper, so to speak. Claire, have you something to say? And Claire is wearing light green, and she's just like, I'm sorry. And she looks at Marielle and is like, red is a lovely color on you. And Mary nods and is like, thank you. When this happens, the maid, Nisa, approaches and she says, if you would take your places at the table, dinner is going to be served soon once the Duchess has a new dress on. And she bows and backs away. The Duke sits at the head of the table here, and the seating to his left is reserved for the Duchess, the seating to his right for Marielle, and then here is for Fergus, the innkeeper. Here is Bixel Cragor, the knife specialist, and you guys have these ones down here, and they're here is for Claire, and here is for Maisry, and the servants look a little flustered, and they're like, oh, forgive me, I do not think we expected this many people. I mean, we invited, what was it, 15? Excuse me. They bring extra chairs for the two men that were sitting by the window. The Duke stands and ding, ding, ding. It's like, thank you all for joining me this evening. I'm afraid my wife is needing to change, but we have prepared an excellent selection of rare meats and breads and... Nisa, I'm sorry, what was it? Vegetables, sir. Oh, yes, sorry. Vegetables! Who knew, right? And he he giggles a little bit. And the Duchess enters now wearing pink and is like, and takes her seat. Chloe, your face. And actually, as this
Ariel would be mad.
As this happens,
I'm gonna cast a message and say to Ariel, I can do it again.
as this happens, however, there is another introduction by the door, and it says Flora Rose Run, and it's another woman in pink, and she walks in, and her and the Duchess make eye contact, and we're like, and the Duchess is like, and she just turns right around and just goes right back to try on a different dress. The woman is very shy, and she kind of approaches. There's not a chair for her either, and an extra one needs to be brought. And she approaches Ariel and is like, "Oh, pink is so lovely on you. I'm sorry, I didn't know anyone else would be wearing it. I'm Flora Roserun. I'm the town alchemist and herbalist."
Ariel, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you too. The Duke got sick a couple months ago, and we became friends, so he always invites me to his dinner parties. Again, I didn't know anyone else would be wearing pink. I'm so sorry.
It's a popular color.
Thank you for understanding.
I'm surprised she put it on because I was here first, but you know.
Right, yes, that is quite
Neither here
confusing.
nor there.
She's...
I remove a jacket to reveal a pink shirt underneath.
Perfect. She kind of makes a face and is like, she's changed already tonight.
Oh,
What happened?
Just a minor illusion.
Oh, she kind of giggles and she's like, messing with the Duchess? My goodness. What an idea. Well, I've never seen you all before. Are you the guests from the, what was it? The adventuring party?
Yes.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. My shop is just in town. You know, I have herbs and potions and things of the such. People might come to me for tonics if they're sick, so if anything like that, if you ever need it, please stop by. I'd be happy to have you.
That would be wonderful.
The Duchess comes back again, and she is just, like, very flustered by now. Her hair that used to, like, fall perfectly is a little, like, there's a hair out of place, and she's wearing purple. Like a royal purple.
Oh, does this bitch not know?
And she's
passion with me.
And she comes down, and she sits in her chair.
My skin is purple, bitch.
And she takes a seat, and she will not look at any other woman at the table. She's only looking at her husband, and is like, he's like, oh, yes, you look lovely, my darling. She's like, thank you.
Does she look lovely?
You know, she's the Duchess. She's very pretty, but her hair, she's sweating because of how many times she's had to change and how many layers she's wearing. So, you know, she's probably would be even better looking if she wasn't so flustered with the events that have transpired, but she looks pretty. And she's like, darling, if you would. He's like, oh yes, dinner is served. And the doors open, and a whole boar with an apple in its mouth is set on the table. There's huge mashed potatoes, there's asparagus, Brussels sprouts, fruit, just like everything that you could think, and you get served a red wine. It's very fancy. Everyone has the same kind of goblet at their seat. Red Dragon Crush. And they bring out a couple extra glasses for the people they forgot to account for, and they pour. And the Duke raises and says, to new friends and old.
As I raise my I'm gonna glance over at Mario.
And she, to you, and takes a drink. And they all take a drink. Dinner is quite good. It's delicious. There's like a garlic butter. It's really good. Like everything is delicious. The Duchess takes one bite, wipes the napkin, takes another, wipes the napkin.
Well, of
She
course she
eats
does.
very proper.
As
Can
she
I,
wipes the napkin, I'm gonna use minor illusion to make it look like she's just smearing lipstick over her face.
Also, can I take a Brussels sprout and using my fork kind of like fling it across the table and it hits her and leaves another little spot on her dress?
But
Can
she doesn't notice.
could you roll a sleight of hand check for me? So that would be on your character sheet. Sorry, my wine's in the way.
Oh.
One of the skills near the bottom.
Yeah, so in the middle of your character sheet, there's like, it starts with acrobatics and there's a list.
Yeah,
So
I see.
you would roll this guy.
Is it the D20?
Yeah. And
Okay.
then add whatever it says next to sleight of hand.
Okay. I rolled an 11 and I have a +5 for sleight of hand, so I have a 16.
Okay.
Damn.
So she doesn't know it's you, but she knows it probably was that end of the table.
Mhm.
It hits her dress, and she kind of just like,
Looking like Joker with her.
yeah. And as this happens, the Duke is kind of like, darling, you have a little. And she's like, and Mary giggles.
Oh,
And
no. Oh, no, Mary, don't do that. Don't do that.
she
Don't
gets
do-
up. The Duchess throws her wine, like, and splashes it all over Mary,
Well, good thing
and
she's wearing
just
a red dress.
storms
It
out.
compliments it.
It just makes the dress look better.
Mary
Looks like
actually starts laughing. Like, she is quite unfazed by how that was an attempt to hurt her. The Duke
Well, that
kind
wasn't
of
very ladylike.
the Duke gets out his napkin and starts helping her dry up. He's like, my wife, everybody. And, like, finishes the rest of his drink. Oh my god. Marielle kind of, like, dries herself and is like, excuse me, and goes towards the terrace that has a rose garden outside. The Duke is like, feel free to socialize while we get this cleaned up. And the servants come over and start to wipe up, and Flora looks at you, Abigail, and is like, was that you?
It was, but don't tell anyone.
Very impressive, my goodness. You are quite a fun bunch. The Duke is probably more entertained than he should be. Mary walks outside, and all you can see of her is she's just like fanning herself and enjoying the rose garden. The Duke comes up to you and is like, I would like to apologize for my wife's behavior this evening. She can get quite flustered if there isn't the right dress or the right hair or the mess. You know, she gets quite embarrassed in public. But would you like to dance? Anyone?
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
love to dance.
Awesome.
Jiggy, jiggy.
He claps his hands, and the door opens, and a few, like, they're not squires, but they're not servants, really. Like, they're dressed a little nicer than the servants, but not as nice as the squire. And there's, like, a little string instrument band, almost. All I can think of is the instrumental version to Somebody Come Get Her. Like, dear, 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 dear. And
Did you guys see? No, I'll talk about it later.
the one TikTok that was like,
The one Joelle did?
yes.
Oh god, Joelle.
So there's music, and there is dancing, and
Can I make a performance check for my dance?
Absolutely, you may. Flora kind of hangs out with you guys.
17.
Oh, damn.
Wow, your dance is everything. The Larry and Leonardo that were brought with their wives are like watching you, and their wives kind of like slap them on their face, and he's like, oh, sorry, but you're
She's a
dancing
professional.
very well.
She can't help it.
You can't help it.
She can't help it.
I would like to muster up some courage by myself for a minute before following Mary out to the road.
That's really cute. Okay.
Adorable.
And would anyone else like to make a performance check for how well they're dancing?
Oh, hell yeah. You know I would. Which one do I take out?
That is the same. It's the D20.
Oh, it's the big fat one?
It's the big fat one.
And
Oh,
I
not the
want to
pretty
grab
one.
Brune's hands and dance with her a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, baby, I got a 16.
Oh, heck yeah.
Do the Pulp Fiction dance with Bruin.
Yeah. And Flora, the herbalist, like, is a little, like, awkward, but kind of tries to dance with Bixel, the knife thrower, and he like, kind of just sways, like, he's a little nervous, but she's just kind of like, and he's like, it's cute, actually, it's very awkward. And the Duke is, like, dancing with all of you, and then you hear a scream
Oh, God, I hope it's the duck.
from outside,
Oh, you know it is, baby girl.
coming from the rose garden.
No, I was on my way.
And Flora runs
Hannah,
outside.
I'm going to murder you.
I'm
if you
sorry.
kill Marielle.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you did, didn't you? Oh, you did.
I'm sorry. And
I knew it.
you find Mary, and she is holding an empty glass, but it looks different from all the ones that you had at dinner. And her necklace is gone. All the guests, like, the music stops, and everyone's like, the Duke is like, Mary? And he kind of tries to, like, prop her head up and get her to respond. Flora kind of smells the cup and is like, nightshade. Where did anybody get nightshade?
Can I ask Flora if she has any kind of like herbs that can make her feel
Like an
better?
antidote.
Yeah, like or just
Not on me, but if I ran back to my shop, then I could maybe get back in time, but I'm afraid nightshade is quite deadly. And Mary is just, like, choking, and she's like,
Well, what if we help you take her to your shop
I
now?
have an idea.
Can I attempt to use?
I have an idea. I am going to very gently lay my hands on her, and I am going to cast Enlarge. She's going to grow to twice her size, and the dose of Nightshade is going to be half as effective.
Damn. That is innovative.
Can you reverse that?
That gives us more time to get it out of her system.
It's okay. Valric likes big women.
It doesn't
Ormus also
doesn't
has
last
an
forever.
antidote. Ormus, you're good with the woods. You're like an elf, right? So you
Yeah.
can,
Give her.
wait, what were you saying? What were you saying?
Yeah. Tell us your idea.
No, I've already cast Enlarge. She's
got some still in her system.
the rose bushes are kind of poking her now because there's
her life is more
she's now
important than her
big.
comfort, okay?
But unfortunately,
Oh wait.
as this was happening, it looks like she stopped breathing already. And
Do that.
Does anyone have spare the die?
A spare what?
None of us are a cleric. I'm afraid
That's
that's
so
okay, cleric.
sad.
Will a simple CPR work?
Can I give her bardic inspiration for her death saves?
oh my god. So now she is twice her usual size, and her legs are all scraped up from those rose bushes. Her dress is a little tattered, and
it's probably really tight on her.
Bigger.
she's not responding.
Oh.
And you notice that Bixel, as soon as he saw her,
Send my mage hand to do CPR.
as soon as he saw her, he like ran away.
Oh.
Like he like gasped and like ran away. And the Duchess comes back in another dress. And it's like, what is all this about? And, what's happened? In my rose garden? And she like walks over and she like looks at Mary and she's like, what's wrong with her? How did she get so big?
How'd she get so big? That don't matter. She's dead.
Someone
I
poisoned
won't talk about why she's
I'm so sorry. I
Nightshade.
didn't know. I'm sorry. Maybe it's best if we all adjourn for the night.
We have to take care of her.
No one's leaving. Rule number 1.
I just don't think we should be partying anymore. If there's
No, the
fair.
party's
Maybe
over.
let's stop
No one's
drinking.
leaving.
She snaps her fingers, and a couple servants come. More servants than would be usually necessary because she's twice her size. And they pick Mary up, and they start to lead her kind of towards the dining room, and they clear the table.
She returns to her normal size, so like they pick her up, and she just
and they try to catch her. They do, and her purse that was left behind has an emerald ring in it, and the Duchess like looks at it and is like, "This is mine. Where did she get this?"
I send the mage hand to pick it up and hold it up in the air so no one can touch it.
She's like, "I don't want to accuse Mary of stealing, but unfortunately that is my ring."
I don't
Why did
want
you
to
sneak wine on her and gave her dirty looks
Why
earlier?
is the ring
dead?
on
I
a
think she's
dead
been
woman's
set up.
body?
What about your
sorry.
husband? Maybe he gave it to
I'm
her.
sorry, I've had quite a terrible evening with my dresses, and I'm usually...
Somebody's dead!
It's not about you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Duke kind of looks at her and is like, and gestures for her to leave, and looks...
Duke Lord, if I may, this town is reasonably sized. Do you have any clerics in your employ that might be able to help her?
I can certainly see what I can do. Flora is usually our resident doctor, and I know that she's run to see what she can get, but let me see who I can call. And he kind of whispers to his servants, and he tries to see if they can get a hold of anyone. The festival is over, and a lot of people have left town or they are now asleep. It's pretty late at the party. And he comes back and he says, when Flora returns, I'm hoping that she can do something, but I'm afraid there's no one of Mary's family that we can call. She doesn't have family here. Mary.
Rick was really about to get
I
it.
know.
Sorry.
I just wanted to show them.
He didn't even get to roll for seduction.
Absolutely. Well, who would do this to Mary? I mean,
Okay, let's.
Well, when we
break
walked
this
in,
down.
there were a lot of people that didn't seem to be too fond of her.
All the women were giving her dirty looks.
I mean, it might be because she's stunning, gorgeous, beautiful.
She
but-
has unfortunately developed a little bit of a reputation for herself.
What does that mean?
Tell us more.
Well, when she first came to town, she didn't know anybody, and the blacksmith had a wife, and she had no idea. His name is Drystan Iron Grip. His shop is just in town.
That's a name.
And they fell in love. She didn't know he had a wife, but that didn't matter.
Well, it's his fault.
As soon as
He's
his
the one-
wife found out, she told everyone that Mary was a floozy, that she was an adulteress, that she broke up her marriage on purpose. And since then, it's been quite hard to convince a woman that she's not trying to steal her husband. But
See, this is the problem with noble population. Why do you think I got out?
yes, she just opened up her bookstore across town. She lives just above it, alone. I don't know if maybe you could find something there that might help with all this, but
Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
absolutely. Do you have any skills that could assist us in finding out who did this to Mary?
No, I think you'll find that we're quite skilled.
Yep.
I'm glad to hear that. Flora returns with a few herbs that she's kind of crushed into a tea. And she... Oh my god.
What?
Sorry, the Twitch chat.
Twitch comments are dead.
What happened?
Someone said, meanwhile, I'm over here like, ooh, I want to experience that iron grip.
You said wink wonk?
Ahem.
As Flora makes her way by,
Oh.
I do actually have an herbalism kit in my inventory.
Okay.
Can I give that to her?
Absolutely. She thanks you, and she puts something of an antidote together, and she opens Mary's mouth and she pours it in, and she lifts her head to kind of assist it, and it does nothing. It's too late. I'm so sorry. I just rolled for it. But Flora looks devastated. She hardly ever loses a patient. And she was quite fond of Mary.
Like she's over and comfort Flora.
She thanks you and she says, the only problem is I don't know where anyone could have gotten Nightshade aside from my shop. I don't ever sell it. I keep it so that no one else can get it.
Have
So-
you seen anyone suspicious around lately?
I get so many customers. I mean, if you'd like, you could come to my shop and we could check my logbook.
I mean, who has access to that stuff besides you? Just you?
Just me. I work there alone. I'm a widow. But,
So is it possible someone could have broken in and stolen something?
it is. I'm sorry to say that I don't have the best security, and I don't have the best eyesight if I'm not wearing my glasses, so I suppose someone could have, but I keep it high so that it's hard to get to. I can't help but feel that this is partially my fault.
Is it possible to grow nightshade as a farmer or someone who spends time in the forests around the area to find it?
I suppose, but it doesn't grow well here.
Are there any towns nearby where it could have been purchased?
The nearest town is probably an hour away. I mean, but I do have it. I just try to keep it away from people so that things like this don't happen.
I mean, is it useful to have in any other purposes other than this?
I mean, it's been known to make an interesting perfume. I tried.
Why do you have it?
Whenever I hear that there is nightshade, I take it out of the public and put it away in a bottle on a very high shelf.
You don't destroy it or throw it in the fire.
Or like just lock it away. I'm sorry.
In hindsight, that is probably a smarter choice.
Insight
Maybe
check.
we should.
You can make an insight check.
Yeah, can I was, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, mister.
That is, I don't know the modifiers for this character. -1. Great. 12.
Okay, can I,
You can as well. You can make an insight check as
what
well.
does that mean?
That means your ability to read another person. Like,
Oh,
do you
great,
think
great.
they're telling the truth?
And you have
would
there's a
love that.
specific skill for it in the same way, like the same
Yeah.
spot, like as the performance. And...
Oh, I'm great at that. I can help with that if that's a thing. I don't know how this works.
So
Yeah.
if you could do two things. You could make individual insight checks that are kind of like for yourself, or if Aramis you wanted to assist in an insight check, then Lauren would roll twice and take the higher number.
Okay, and where do I find?
So in your in the same place, there's a long skinny box that has acrobatics at the top. It's
My thing was swished, and so it wasn't.
so insight is right underneath history.
A +1.
I have +5, so
I'm
I
Oh, come on,
have my own insight.
get it.
Yeah, I have +4 on that too. So we need more than
By the way,
that.
Oh, come on, ladies.
roll my
Just go for it. Just roll your d20, yeah.
Yes, your D20, and then you'll add to that.
Okay, so 16.
Awesome. So it seems that Flora is telling the truth, and she's just very shy, and she is alone, and maybe just didn't have the best like critical thinking when it came to keeping the nightshade, and she thought that she was keeping it away from people, but she is distraught over Mary, and she is a little embarrassed about this whole thing.
Can I apologize to her for my excessive questioning?
She says, "You're right to be suspicious, especially when you only could get it in my shop, and it looks terrible. And if you want, I can stay here and not go anywhere if that would make you feel better, but I can show you my logbook if that would be helpful. I try to keep track of every transaction."
I think we should go to the shop to see if there's anything suspicious as well, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up to the Duke and tell him we need a list of every guest who was at the party tonight and everyone who was
Great
on
idea.
staff.
Yes.
He says, "Right away." And he moves to start writing this down.
Is the Duchess's ring still hanging in the air on
With my
Arya?
mage hand.
It is actually, yes.
I would like to grab it, and I'm going to sit down and ritual cast Identify.
Okay. It is not magical, but the emerald is the Lovebow's family jewel, so it probably did belong to the Duchess.
And you said she's missing a necklace.
Yes, she had a
Mary.
necklace on that evening, and it is now gone.
Could I roll for stealth and try and sneak into the Duchess's quarters to see if there's anything suspicious up there?
Sure.
Okay.
So-
the D-
Yes. Let me just copy a list of everyone who was at the party.
I would also like, since I'm seated on the ground currently, I am going to snap my fingers, and my familiar Raven is going to appear on my shoulder, and I would like to go through his eyes and take a sweep of the perimeter.
Sure. You see, the Duke is kind of in his room. You can the Raven can see outside the window the silhouette of him writing down all of the guests. The Duchess has a big fan, and she's kind of clutching her chest, fanning herself in her quarters. The servants are all kind of feverishly working to clean up the dinner mess, and they're kind of like the adrenaline is really going because, someone died. Bixel, the hooded figure, is vomiting out front. He ran off, but it appears through your familiar's eyes that he ran off because he got squeamish about someone choking and dying. And you don't really see anyone else of note aside from just a few carriages that are just going on their way, leaving the festival, and Bixel is really not having a good day and has puked all of his dinner up.
Does anyone in the party have high investigation that wants to come and look at the balcony area with me?
I think I do, and let me check.
I have plus,
17 for...
You have +5?
yes, I have +5 to investigation. It's
Okay,
an
then
thing.
I'll take that with me to go and investigate I'll assist you. And
After I've done a sweep of the perimeter, I'm gonna come back to me. What did I miss? I can't see or hear anything when I'm in the bird.
Oh,
That's like some brand.
so like some Game of Thrones shit.
Yes.
The three-eyed raven.
He's more than a raven. Oh, yes.
And actually, Aramis, make a history check to see if you recall something. It's the same. It's right above insight, I think, on your list.
Okay. 11.
Okay, so when you entered, you saw like a hallway, just like a glimpse of large portraits that seemed to be like family history, and there was a bigger portrait of a cat in fancy royal clothing. Just gonna...
Yay. So, yeah, everyone, there was a hallway, and there were some very interesting portraits. We might want to check that out, see if we can figure anything else out about this.
Is it like a house cat or like a tiger?
Yeah.
Out of character, I can turn my familiar into a cat, and I can use minor illusion to give him royal robes.
It looks like a house cat that has had a portrait made for him.
Okay. Yeah, noted. There was a house cat.
Sorry, I am just copying over everyone.
I would like to relay the information that I got from my raven to everyone in the party. Bixel, although he appeared quite guilty when he fled, he is vomiting upstairs. It doesn't really look like anyone is fleeing the grounds currently, just carts entering and leaving the festival.
Well, if there's nothing else to look around here,
Maybe we should travel, to the florist shop.
Before
I want to ask.
just investigate the cup that she drank from.
Yes.
Go ahead and make an the investigation check.
Nat 20. Plus
Very nice. So it looks like it's just a smaller cup, but it's like nicer. It looks like a kind of cup that someone might bring out for a special occasion. And it is smaller than the cups that you were served at dinner.
This might be a quick jump to a conclusion, but This cup seems like it is of very good quality, and this, combined with the Duchess's ring being present at the scene of the crime, is appearing a bit suspicious to me.
Yeah. I sneak up the stairs to spy on the Duchess in her quarters to see if she's doing anything strange.
Okay.
I want to go ask the Duke who was the one serving the drinks, and if I could see the glasses that everything had been served in, and who had access to all of that.
Okay. So first, Abigail, can I get a stealth check from you?
Yeah.
And can you guys see my list? It's in the chat. I think there were some repeats on accident, and it looks like none of the servants actually copied over.
The chat on Zoom or on Roll20?
On Roll20.
Okay.
Oh, and for stealth, I rolled an 18, and I have a +5, so 23.
Awesome. So the only thing is she's fanning herself and she's itching her legs.
A rash or
I ask Floor if there's any side effects to handling Nightshade.
And she kind of says to her knowledge, like, not from touching it, just from ingesting.
Clearly.
Right. Sorry, I tried to just make it one list, and it's like...
All right. It's all right.
But, what else would you guys like to do here?
Well,
so go ahead.
no, you go.
No, I don't know what I was gonna say.
It's time to maybe check out the Flora's shop if nothing seems to be happening here. Do we think we should stay?
Did the Duke tell me the
Yes,
trail for the glasses?
he said that James Ambrose is their wine specialist. Oh, that's another thing, Valric. It was brandy in the cup. It wasn't wine.
Oh,
Okay. Interesting. I would like to roll for history to see if I remember that Marielle had the glass that she drank from here while she was at the dinner table.
Okay.
That roll was not as good as the last one. What's my history? Oh, also +5. 14.
Okay. From what you can remember, when she left to get some air, she was a little wet from having a drink thrown at her, but all she had in her hands was her coin purse.
Okay. Thank you.
Can we have a chit chat with oh goodness, what was his name? The wine expert.
James Ambrose.
James Ambrose. Mm-hmm.
good idea.
So, hi James.
Hello. How may I help you?
So, we'd like to know so you were serving brandy to everyone at the party, is that correct?
Oh, no. Tonight we were serving wine.
Yes. Do you know where someone might have obtained brandy?
Well, the Duke always likes his liquor, as you might know, but, we have a very extensive collection. It's just wine is the cheapest and usually the most enjoyed at something of a dinner party.
Is the brandy locked away?
Oh, I wouldn't say it was locked away. It's in the kitchen, but we usually only reserve that for even smaller dinner parties or special occasions or anything like that.
What can you tell us about this glass?
Oh, well, we only have a few of them. Again, these are handed down from the Duke's father, a wedding present, if you would. But, yes, we only have, I'd say, 5, so usually reserved for family dinners or holiday celebrations.
And where are these kept?
Oh, they're kept in the kitchen. A little higher than the rest of the cutlery, but they're just kept there.
Can we go to the kitchen and ask the servants there if they've seen anyone enter or exit that shouldn't be there?
By all means.
I'd also like to get all of the servants who worked in the kitchen this evening, and we can line them up by height. Since they're kept high, it's unlikely that someone like a halfling will be getting them.
Absolutely. And he leads you to the kitchen. You see as you're walking along a very fancy, like, cat tower. It's more like a cat castle. Like, it has no business being this big. Like, it's huge. And it is right next to the kitchen. And you see this cat that's wearing, like, fancy robes, like, kind of, like, peeking into the kitchen. And then when it sees that people are coming, it, like, scurries off into its castle, and, like, goes into one of the holes.
I love it.
Is that the Duke's cat?
Oh, yes, that's Charles Lovebow, Duke of, as we like to call it, Fluffenberg.
No.
That was his own portrait, is that correct?
Absolutely, it's the Duke and Duchess's pride and joy. He, likes to steal from the kitchen, but, you know, it was the only place big enough to have a cat tower of this stature, so if he steals a fish or two, so be it.
Does anyone
I'm
have
gonna
speak with
lean
animals?
in real close to Mr. James in front of us, because I assume that's who's been talking about the cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna... This is going to be a bit of a weird question, and I suggest that you answer honestly. I'm casting suggestion,
Okay.
which means
Such
he
a
will
good
make
spell.
a saving
Such
throw
a
if he
good
decides to
spell.
not answer honestly. Is the Duchess infertile?
Whoa.
I'm afraid I wouldn't know, sir. I don't handle that. But she does have personal maids that may know more about that. What are you thinking?
Forgive me. It's nothing of import right now.
Right. And he opens the kitchen and he kind of says, like, give me a second, and situates them to be lined up by height. There are a few halflings, a few humans, and these are their names. So the Suzette, Cassius, and Corbin, the servants that are on that list, were working in the kitchen. And then there was also Philidia and Finian. Oh, I already put Finian, sorry. But, and then there are two humans, Philidia and Finian, that are taller. And they're all kind of lining up, waiting.
Just out of
Halfling,
curiosity.
I'd like to question them, but in a friendly way.
Okay.
If they know
And
any-
Lauren, what were you saying?
Sorry, just out of curiosity, are there any like ladders around that I can see? I don't know, just like
Make a
aggressively
perception
tall
check.
ladders. All right.
Perception. It's a little
+1. All right.
Okay.
Which one is that?
D20.
The skills are sorted alphabetically.
Mhm.
19.
Very nice. There is a ladder. As you come into the kitchen,
bitch.
sorry, I forgot to describe it actually. This kitchen
Fine.
is huge. There's like huge mixing bowls. There's lots of different stoves so that different dishes can be cooked at the same time. Along the top, there's like the fancy dishes that are brought down probably for like the dinner parties, and then a little lower there's like the silver, and then the regular cutlery, and then the alcohol cabinet is on the other side, with the top being like, just from a glance, but your high perception check was very good, there's like brandy, whiskey, and then as it goes down, it's like less expensive alcohol, like maybe if the servants steal a bottle or two, it's not like a huge loss to the bottom being like cheap wine, and the wine that you had this evening is actually towards the middle. You can recognize the bottle that was poured.
Great.
Before we get too deep into questioning them, I'm going to use my message cantrip to message each member of the party individually and let them know my train of thought about the whole infertility thing. I am heavily suspicious of the Duchess and her envy of every other woman in the room. As far as we have seen, they have no children, and the servant has just described their cat as their pride and joy. So I was thinking, if the Duchess is infertile, hence why the cat is their pride and joy, instead of any children, perhaps that's why she's jealous of every woman, and that could be motive for murder. That's all I had.
You are successful in sending that message to each of them. But they are all just standing, waiting for questions.
I ask them if they've seen anyone unusual to the kitchen walk through this evening.
So Philidia, which is one of the humans on the end, you can kind of see with how she answers that she's kind of like head of the kitchen. She's like, "Forgive me for saying, ma'am, but tonight was so busy, anyone could have walked into the kitchen and we couldn't have noticed."
Interesting that they let a woman named Chlamydia run the kitchen.
Oh.
That was out of character.
She's like,
Vicious mockery.
Okay, let's see. Can I ask the other servants other than Lydia, who, since she's speaking for them, if they've noticed anything, because they might not speak out of turn?
yeah. Suzette, she's one of the halflings. She steps forward and she's like, tonight we had extra servants just helping getting the trays prepared. You know, there's quite a lot of servants in the mansion, but we didn't think anything of it, so it isn't what I would call suspicious. But what's happened?
Oh my god, you don't know.
I'm afraid I was in the kitchen the entire time, and I was getting the dessert ready, and then all of a sudden the kitchen was flooded with servants, and there was a scream outside, and everyone was
A
done.
woman was poisoned by nightshade and is now dead.
Whew. My goodness. Okay, I did not see anyone as I would call suspicious. Like I said, all of the servants were in the kitchen at one point this evening.
All that being said, did anyone here serve anything besides wine throughout the evening?
Yes. I was just going to ask that question.
Great minds think alike.
Wonderful.
Suzette kind of steps back and says, "I didn't serve anything personal this evening. I just put mashed potatoes on the tray."
Oh, great.
But
They
you
were
said
really
you were in
yummy.
the kitchen the whole night, so did you see anyone pour anything other than wine?
Specifically, did you see anyone reaching towards the higher shelves in that liquor cabinet over there?
Well, I assumed that they were just reaching for the spices that are also next to the liquor cabinet, but now that you mention it, there was someone that grabbed the ladder.
Ooh.
I don't know. One of the other servants, I'm not great with names, but it was a girl.
Are you good with
Give us
faces?
more-
Could you point her out in a line?
Maybe.
Can you maybe just give us like generic, like what you would?
DM question.
Yeah.
How high up is the brandy shelf? Like,
The brandy's on the, second to highest, so there's, cheap wine, liquor, brandy, and then, whiskey and, scotch and all of that.
so how many feet up would that be? Out of curiosity.
I would say probably 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I make an insight check to see if she genuinely can't remember her name? Or
Yes.
she's hiding something?
Yes, you can make an insight check.
19.
She looks like she really is just confused, and she is like trying so hard to remember, but she's like just like, maybe it was like, no, that's her. No, maybe it's like it's like hurting her brain to try to remember this name.
Also, out of character, what was the name of the girl who came in also in a pink dress?
That was Flora, actually.
That was Flora. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I feel like there's something out of character also. Something going on with this cat.
I know. I'm like
I know.
I'm good. I have a +2 on animal handling, and I'm small, so I might be able to find her.
Maybe you go do that.
I also have a +2. Do you want me to assist you?
Handling.
Are you good at that, Savannah?
I have a -1, but I can turn my friend into.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Cat, you guys wait for us outside the cat house right there, so we can call on you if we need you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
We'll
go
keep the door
assist
open.
you, so you can get an advantage to your animal handling checks.
So I can like see in the dark. I think.
Yeah,
Do you have dark vision?
Yeah. Well, I should be able to see in there. the cat in the.
It's huge. It's like a big tunnel system, but you like look inside and you can see the cat is like laying on his back, like rubbing his stomach, and there's a fancy porcelain bowl next to him
It's
that is
literally
now
Lucifer
empty.
from Cinderella.
He's
Does
just
he
like,
have any tags or anything, or do his robes have any inscriptions?
well, you did hear from James that his name is Charles.
Oh.
Oh shit, sorry.
Charles.
No, wrong one.
Prince Charles, please.
Yes.
I didn't turn on my fan.
Well, they try to herd cats. I'm going to ritual cast Find Familiar. I'm going to change my raven's shape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell yeah.
I'm gonna take a few minutes to turn him into a spider.
Oh.
Okay. And what would you like the spider to do once it's turned?
I'm gonna make it like the teeniest, tiniest little spider possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to wait for an opportunity to send him to go into the Duchess's chambers.
Okay. So, Abigail, go ahead and make an animal handling check as you try to call out Charles.
That is a 19.
Great. So, you can kind of see, like, he was just rubbing his belly, and then he hears this, and he's like, he, like, stretches up. He does, it's cat yoga time, like, stretching of the legs, and then he prances out to meet you. The cute
I'm gonna pet the
kitty.
cat to make sure he's friendly
I
and
think it's
calm.
very out of character from
I don't think it is. You love cats. You know you
No,
do.
I love cats.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't know
Yes.
how Ariel feels.
That's fair. And he takes the pets, like, willingly. However, you must be careful where you pet. Like, behind the ears, yes, but in front, no. And he will, like, swatch your hand. But then if you, like, the belly
Feisty kitty.
is good, but the chest, no. Like, he's very particular about where he wants to be pet.
Certainly the Duchess's cat.
Apple doesn't fall far from it. Oh, by the way, where's the Duke? Maybe that's off topic. Where is he? Have we
Oh,
seen
the
him?
Duke was in his familiar, Volrick's Raven familiar, saw him in his chambers feverishly writing. Like, he was writing the list of servants for Ariel, but, to your knowledge, he is still in his chambers.
And everyone in the kitchen here are all the servants, period, or all the servants?
No,
in
all of the
kitchen?
kitchen servants.
Gotcha.
I would like to say I rolled my spider's hit points, which is 1d4 minus 1, and I rolled a 1. So
Aw, that's okay. We'll just have it at 1.
0 hit
One.
points.
It's okay. 1 hit point. He'll have 1 hit point.
Cute.
Wait, so do you not get into the Duchess's chambers then?
He
Oh.
just, if he is like, if the spider is found and swat or smacked, then like that's it.
Ooh.
Then he's gone. then period, he is gone.
Oh no. That's horrifying. Okay.
All right. So, once my spider friend is made, I'm gonna walk over to the door to the kitchen with him on my finger, and I'm just gonna
Okay.
and let him go off on his way.
Perfect. What is he looking for? Just
Currently, he's just going into the Duchess's chambers. I had to see what she's up to, and presuming that I get a good view of what she's up to without being spotted, I would like to investigate a little bit closer. Yeah, that's all I have for now, but I'm sure I'll come up with something more once we get there.
okay. So, I'll come back to the cat, but what your spider friend sees, the Duchess's like private chambers, because there is a connected chamber for the Duke and the Duchess, but her like dressing area, so to speak, is bright pink, and well, more like a soft pink. You know, it's not like flashy. It's still like a little muted. You know, and there is a bookshelf, there is a desk, there is a huge dresser and a mirror, and the Duchess is looking at herself in the mirror. She's looking at her eyes and like her nose, and she's kind of like picking at herself, so to speak. She is wearing long socks underneath her dress, and periodically she just goes down to itch, and she keeps looking at herself. There is a single book on the table, and it's titled Crimes of the Heart, and it is a tragic
What's the name of the
romance novel. It is a tragic
Alright.
romance novel.
Is it at all related to the play, or is this just?
I mean, I got inspiration for the name, but
Oh, gotcha.
it's probably, yes.
This may be a bit much to ask, and also my poor little spider is probably going to be squashed, but is there any way that I could stealth spider my way
Stealth spider.
into the sock to see
You
why
know,
she is scratching at her
you
leg?
can certainly try.
Oh no.
I have the spider stat block pulled up.
Good.
Stealth spider.
Good.
Not a bad roll. That is a nat 18.
Alright.
Stealth plus 4, so 22.
Okay.
That is his only skill, is stealth.
I love that for him, though.
He's a stealthy little spider.
Okay. So, you manage to get in the sock only to see bandages
Yeah.
before squash.
I'm
And-
gonna... Volric, the rest of the party has no clue this is happening. They just saw me kind of go... and then stand, and my eyes have gone, like, white. I'm standing in the corner. And I'm gonna mutter under my breath, fuck. And then I'm gonna, like... My worldview from the sock turns into this wall in the kitchen.
Wait, so if your familiar dies, do you die?
No, and
He's
he
like,
can
"I
conjure
really
it
have to
again. Like, it can
It
be...
just takes another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say, well, shit, and fold my arms.
And
Rump.
Abigail, what are you trying to do with this cat? What are you trying to get out of it?
I wanted to inspect the cat and see if there were any clues with what the cat was wearing, or if there was anything just looking remotely sort of suspicious inside the cat's house. Just check it out, because there seems to be quite a lot of cat paraphernalia around this place.
So the cat is wearing gold, right? And he is kind of like giving you his belly, and you're kind of like you're touching his robes, and you're kind of looking inside, and the cat hops up and like moves towards the kitchen and kind of like looks at the kitchen and flits his eyes at you, and it's like,
Like,
Does anyone speak cat?
Savannah,
Savannah, I was gonna say Savannah has good
do you
contact.
have things like that?
I don't talk to aminals.
Bruin.
Aminals. I don't speak
Bruin, I
animal.
might add, since you're a ranger, you might be able to speak with small beasts.
yeah.
Okay, is that under my languages?
No, it
No.
would be.
Oh.
It
Oh, I
would
can-
either be under spells or under features and traits. I don't have a character sheet, so.
Sorry, I don't really know how this works.
You are good. I'm trying to help you.
Thank you. I don't see anything.
After DMing exclusively for 3 months, I am used to having everyone's character sheets readily available.
Yes.
So.
You can speak with small animals.
Shoot, okay. Do I have to roll for that, or?
No, I mean, you may have to roll if you're trying to make, like, to persuade it to do something, but you have the ability to speak to small animals.
Okay. I'm going to ask Charles.
Squeak. Squeak.
Hey, Charles. Did you have a good evening?
He
Yeah.
stretches and he's like, yeah.
Did you see anything weird going in or coming out of the kitchen tonight? Because it seemed like you knew something about the kitchen.
Well, perhaps if you could get me a salmon, I could give information.
Hard to procure.
He's just stretching.
Could I have some food to give him in my like pack that I carry?
Yeah, you might. You might have a little bit.
Probably not
But
a
he's very
salmon.
persistent about the salmon.
Oh my god.
Salmon are like, they're huge. I've gone fishing for
Oh, I
salmon.
thought you just meant like a cut of salmons.
He wants a whole salmon.
He's like,
Here,
There could be
Abigail,
some
I'm gonna
can.
give you a bardic inspiration die for persuasion, so you don't have to get him a salmon.
Oh,
You
okay.
get to roll your d20 and add a d6 to the roll.
Okay, so I roll it and add 6. Okay.
Oh no, roll the 6, like the
Roll the d6?
d6, and then add that to the roll.
Is that the square one? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, the regular looking boy.
Okay.
The regular guy.
I roll 2, and what do I add to that?
You
your
add- you roll your-
persuasion.
Oh, I add my persuasion.
You add your persuasion and your d20, and then the d6.
I'm so lost. I'm so sorry.
No, no, you're good. So
20.
you roll d20, period,
Okay, these two.
right? And then you add the persuasion. But Chloe gave you something special that lets you add this on top of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 20 on my d20. I add my persuasion, which is -1, so that's 19, plus the 2 from Chloe, so it's 21.
21.
Okay. So what are you trying to persuade him? You're trying to say, dude, I can't get you salmon? Like,
Or I'll say I can try and get some salmon from the kitchen right after we talk.
he's
So I
like,
wanna get all the salmon for-
okay.
I love your cat.
Thank you.
Oh, Kitty, did you see anything?
Yeah. My mistress's servant, Nisa.
Nisa? Okay. Was she carrying anything? Brandy, maybe a bottle? Or some berries? Like a jar?
About the ladder.
What?
Ask about the ladder.
But there was already okay. What, what about the ladder?
Like, did she handle the ladder?
Oh, did you see Nisa climbing the ladder or moving it?
Yeah.
Did she climb up it pretty high?
Yeah.
What's she saying? Is he speaking?
Okay, so guys,
Does the cat have anything else to tell us?
Well, yeah, ask the cat, like, ask him about the brandy, because I'm right behind you.
what about the brandy?
Like, if he saw someone pick up the brandy and put it in the fancy glass.
Did you see Nisa maybe put that brandy into like a special kind of small glass from the kitchen?
Yeah.
Charles says yes.
Okay. Okay. If I might, could you ask the cat, just since this is the person that we're conversing with and has been the most honest so far, if Nisa,
Gotta get him some
like, what is
salmon.
Nisa's job? Is she...
she serves the queen, right?
She's a servant to
The Duchess?
The
Like
Duchess,
she
bitch.
like a handmaiden. Oh, sorry.
There's no queen.
Okay.
She is one of the Duchess's handmaidens?
Handmaidens, yes. Is Nisa one of her handmaidens? The Duchess?
Yeah.
Is she like the head handmaiden? Is she the one who's with her the most?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I like transmit that to them? Do I need to like, say
No, you can. Yeah, you could say that you've told them that.
I told them.
Question for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use wild shape to transform into the cat?
Yes, you can transform into creatures you have seen. But you can't have the robe. You would have to actually like physically borrow the robe from
Borrow or
Charles.
steal.
I can cast minor illusion.
That is true.
All
Oh, I
right.
got that too.
I think I have something like that.
I can also cast poison spray, but that's not really relevant.
But I think why don't we take our break? It's about
Yeah, sure.
halfway through, and then then when we come back, we can see what we're gonna do about Charles.
I'm gonna shave this
Have
atrocious
to
thing
make
off
the
my
cat
face.
talk.
Are you really? No.
All right.
Keep it on.
We shall be back. All right, we are back
With props.
with props. Yes,
Oh,
we've
welcome
we've
back,
had a
everyone.
few costume changes.
Here, I'll put on my glasses.
So, what is it you all would like to do?
I would like to use wild shape and turn into the cat.
All right.
It might be wise to hide ourselves from the servants before we do anything like that.
You're very correct. I'm gonna go somewhere where there's no people, like the hallway. And then do that.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go speak to the Duke.
Okay. So we have Kate. We have speak to Duke.
And I need someone to help me get robes of some sort.
Well,
Rope?
I'd say
Oh,
Abigail's
yes,
already
I
got
can-
the relationship.
Right, I've got the persuasion, so maybe
Like, hey bro.
yeah.
Just
Look,
borrow it.
well, I promise we'll bring it back with salmon, but like, can I borrow the robes?
he he does the one-legged stretch thing where he's like laying down but the one leg is like extended and he's like with milk.
Oh, of course. I saw your saucer was empty, and that just won't do.
And he comes
Sweeten the
towards
deal,
you
make it warmed.
and like extends his neck and says, "Yeah."
Okay. All right, I'm putting it on. Has Savannah transformed yet? Okay, yes.
And he stretches again and says, "Do you need me for anything else?"
For the time being, you have been wonderfully sufficient. We'll be back with snacks and drinks.
Mm, thank you.
To go somewhere where he won't be seen by
Oh
other people.
yes. Just you know what? Chill out in your cat palace for a while. It's gonna be quiet, dark, warm, nice. That's the way to be. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. He walks into his cat castle.
Alright. I am going to go up to the Duchess's chambers.
Okay. So Valric's spider was able to find it pretty easy. It was up the stairs in the right wing, and the Duke and Duchess's shared chamber is like at the end of the hall. The Duke is on the left, Duchess is on the right.
Alright.
Oh,
I'm gonna-
we need to make sure you know the places where the kitty does not like to be pet, so you can react accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
So
He likes the belly, but not the back.
Nothing
Behind
above the head,
ears,
behind the ear.
but not in front of the ears.
Yeah, he likes.
here, not my back. Only
Or
my
no, he likes the belly, but he doesn't like his chest.
Okay,
Right.
chest.
And he loves to stretch.
Mhm.
And
All the stretches.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he loves
Constant state of stretch.
Yes.
Is the door open to her chambers?
It is not.
So I'm going to.
Charles, is that you?
Yes.
She opens the door and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she goes to pet you. She pets along the back and she goes for behind the ear carefully. And she opens the door and lets you in.
I'm gonna hobble on in, curl up on the bed.
Okay. She looks sad. A little bit. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Okay, are we back?
Yes.
You're back.
Okay. For a second I was like, oh no. She looks sad. A little bit.
Not as sad as she should be.
And she's like, she's petting you while she's like looking at her wedding ring.
Right.
Remember that book on the shelf? She misses the touch of a man.
Is it her only book on any show?
It's the only book.
She only reads one book over
Regular
and over.
reading material.
Ugh, that's why she's so sad. She needs a library.
Correct. No, I'm gonna like rub up against her.
Well,
Nice.
well, the bookstore shop owner is dead. So,
True.
sweetheart.
Hey.
Too far.
I'm talking to the Duchess, not you.
So,
What were
Savannah,
you trying
rub
to
up
do?
on her leg?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like kind of like rub up on her leg.
Her
She
sock?
kind of winces a little bit. It's like, Charles, and like kind of gestures for you to come back on the bed.
All right, I go back on the bed, and then I snuggle up, do some stretches, couple of little what's this?
The baking. We are
Making
making biscuits.
I'm making some biscuits,
Okay.
and then I nuzzle in.
She pets you, and she gets something out of her pocket. It's a little handwritten note, and she opens it to read it. You are nuzzling, not out loud, so you are nuzzling, so I'm gonna need a perception check to see if you can catch anything.
All right.
Oh, I should have given you a bardic inspiration before you left.
Okay, that's okay. I have +5 perception. Oh, 17 +5.
Okay, nice. So, it's from Dry Strand Iron Grip,
Oh.
and it has a heart next to her name,
Fucking knew it. I knew this bitch was not good.
Uh-huh.
and it's like, it basically says something poetic along the lines of, like, you are like a flower in a spring day, or like something of that sort. And she's looking at it, and she's looking sad, and she's like, she like sighs, and she pets you, thinking it's Charles, and you kind of get the idea that, like, this is new, and she hasn't quite made a decision yet. Like,
so he's a wife stealer, not the other way around.
And
And-
DM, he's
yes.
the one that she had
Laura.
the affair with.
Or sorry, Mary.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Um,
Had the affair with when she didn't know he was married.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't her stealing; it was really him taking advantage of her, even though we already kind of figured.
yeah.
All right.
Maybe Savannah could look around the room for, I don't know, some sign as to why she's itching her socks.
Correct.
I don't know how she would do that, but
I would have relayed to her that she's wearing bandages under the socks.
I know. I'm just wondering, maybe she has some kind of ointment about, some kind of thing that could clue us
Or
in.
if you just like keep like pestering at the spot, if she'll like tell you what.
I'm gonna rub against her sock one more time.
Okay. She's like, Charles, please. And she's gonna kind of roll her sock down and, like, rub and roll it back up.
I give a little meow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to survey the room. I don't know if there's something I should roll for to see if there's anything else in there I should be aware of.
Yeah, so, I'll use the same perception check as before, which was, 22, I think. So, the book that's on her desk has a small piece of paper kind of sticking out of it. But it's different from all of the other books that are in her bookshelf. The ones in her bookshelf are, like, educational books, like how to be a good ruler, like learning different languages, geology, things like that. And so this book that's on her desk, it has that little piece of paper sticking out, like I said, and it looks kind of out of place with the rest of the books.
All right, I'm gonna go do a nice little cat leap up onto the desk and do a bunch of stuff over there.
She's like,
I'm just gonna curl up next to the book.
okay. She's like, Charles, you know you're not allowed on my desk. You're so precious. Come on. Off. Please.
Just swat the book down. Just slap it right.
Charles! She kind of like and like picks it up and puts the paper into like on top of it and sets it down. And you see that the paper is kind of scribbly, and it says L. Please enjoy. M. And then has August 11th at the bottom.
Mary?
I mean, what a way
Addressed to L.
Yeah.
Oh, addressed.
Isn't that her first name? Oh, wait, that's the Duke's first name, isn't it?
They both start with an L.
I thought their last names both were with an L.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lovebow. Lawrence Lovebow. So her name is Arlette Lovebow. Lawrence
There's
Lovebow.
also Cassius Lone Rider. Is that the...
And there was also a man named Larry Belmont at the party. And I don't know if I listed him, but a Leonardo as well.
Oh, well, his wife is named... Larry's wife is... Her name starts with an M, too.
Yes, but what other M would have access to books such as these?
Fair enough.
That's very true. Very true.
All right.
And as far as we know...
And there's random holes. Sorry, I forgot to say this. There's random holes cut out on the paper.
Do they... Oh, no, sorry.
We have a whole bunch of...
Sounds like a code. That's what it sounds like.
Oh my god, you're right.
Are they in, like, any pattern, specifically?
They look random. But at the bottom, below the note of L, please enjoy M, is, I know how to say the date, is 08/11 for August 11th.
What's today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a current date?
Today is August 8th.
So it was... Wait,
Future.
hold on. Am I stupid? Hold on.
Is it from
It's
last
either-
year?
Future, or it was the year before, the year prior?
I mean,
Did they get there early?
so it could be the date it was sent. It could be just a date.
Oh, it could be a meeting time. It could be for a meeting.
Oh.
Okay.
The drama.
And
Well.
there's random holes cut out on the paper.
That could...
Well,
That could...
while this is going on, would it be possible for the rest of the party to find an audience with Nisa?
Yes, so let's cut to, I know Ariel wanted to talk to the Duke.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay. Get my D20 ready. Okay. So you said he's in his chambers, right?
Well, actually, when you go, he is not in his chambers, but the door is open. And there is a note on his desk.
Okay. Is anyone around?
Make a perception check really quick.
19.
There is no one
wait.
around.
Hold on, I looked at the wrong stat.
That's okay.
What is my perception? Oh no, I did look at the right stat. Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
cool. So you don't see anyone. You hear the Duchess speaking softly to Aramis, who is currently Charles, and you hear the Duke downstairs, like, just like talking to a servant, but he is not in the nearest vicinity of you.
Okay. I'm going to enter the room and read the note.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my dog. It's such a long
The note is from Mary, in script. Your Grace, I have recently received an abundance of new books from my aunt, who owns a library in London. They are on a variety of subjects, with a few hilarious comedies. There are also quite a few poetry books I thought you would take an interest in. I'd be happy to bring them by your estate with some of my fresh biscuits for you and your wife. Do tell me when I can come by. Go ahead and make an investigation check really quick. Or maybe that would be insight. That'd be insight. Let's do insight.
Okay. 17.
So, you're not sure if it's purposeful, but there are a few spelling mistakes, spelling errors in this note.
Oh, I love this shit. Oh, I love this.
She was a librarian.
Oh, check the letters in order.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna.
I'm going to books for my aunt. It's a library
In
in
Lauren,
London.
help me with this.
Oh, it's
So we've got, or do we want to do? Okay, so let me get out my book pen.
I have a notebook out, so just tell me the letters.
Okay, so put O, and then by next to it put an I.
Wait, there's a V
Before the O, there is a
Oh
V
shit.
W.
There's a W.
The word who is spelled VH.
Oh, V. Okay, so before that put V and then a W next to it. And then
Oh, okay. I see how
on
you
a
did this.
variety of
Hold on.
subjects.
So O I.
And then next, N and an H. And then K and a C. Also quite a few poetry.
We've got Vonk. Or Wick.
Wait,
You may,
where? I'm sorry, this thing's...
You may have missed one.
Ah, God. Variety of subjects with a few comedies. Before that, oh God,
I'd be.
owns a library on London. In London.
Because of your high enough insight check, Ariel, this is a J.
Oh.
Oh.
It looks like a cursive T.
Yeah.
All right. So before N with H, put J with T.
Okay, hold on. In H. What was the other one? It was a K and a C, and then J.
J and then T.
Well, between
JT goes before KC.
N H and K.
So we have Voidjuka or witch, spelled like an evil witch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we.
NH.
There's also a B that should be a D.
Yeah,
Do tell.
Yeah,
Do tell.
we are getting there.
Yeah. Oh, we're not there yet.
Nappy.
I lost.
Sorry. There's an LI on bring or bring.
Thought we were done. Li. Okay, yeah.
And then BD on Botel.
Okay.
I think that's it.
And you may have switched around the C and the H there, Chloe. In the note.
So we have WITHC
Hold on. So the
H
K.
I D.
At first, I thought it was gonna be with.
Is bring in the I thought, or I'd be happy to bring. Is that an I?
That looks like an L.
Yeah, I
L,
think
yeah.
there should be an I or an L-I.
Yeah, L, and then
I think maybe this information could be brought to the party, and we could discuss it.
Correct.
Hit. Wait, can we redo the orders? Because I kept erasing stuff.
Yeah, I think it's. Am I allowed to help, by the way?
Yes, right
Okay.
right now, because, yeah.
I don't know. I think it starts with V W O I J T N H K C N H L I
With kid.
with child. It's gonna
Pregnant.
be with child.
She's fucking pregnant.
She's pregnant. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. So she's pregnant with his baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. God, Mariel.
I think you dodged a bullet there, Valric.
I just wanted to know more about the bookstore. One of my personality traits is that I'm incredibly awkward in social situations, and so really I just wanted to talk about books. I have some books in my inventory that I thought she could have been interested in.
She probably would have been, too.
Maybe now that we know this, we should go to Nisa and see if she knew anything about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think that is also a very good motive for the Duke.
Yeah, for the Duke and
I
for
still
Duchess. Duchess
want to
would
have a
find
little
it.
interaction with him,
Right?
Wait,
but
Chloe, where was the Duke when you did your insight check?
he's downstairs, so I may go.
Before you leave, is there any sign of the note that he was writing?
Oh, can I make a?
Oh, wasn't he writing the list of people?
You can make an investigation check.
Yeah, I'll make an investigation.
Yes, but my familiar saw that he was still writing after
Okay.
he received the list.
Hopefully that'll be good. 12.
Okay. There are a ton of ledgers and, like, scrolls on his desk. Like, he could have been writing in any one of those. But he had this one laid out that he was reading, and his quill is on the side. But from what you can see, it's kind of hard to tell, like, with the pile of papers, what he might have been writing.
Okay. I'm gonna go down and I'll come back to actually have a conversation with him later, but I'm gonna go relay this information to the party about the note and that there is a hidden message that says with child, so we should probably ask if they can, investigate the body to make sure that she was indeed pregnant.
That's true.
Yes, that is a task that we can give to Flora.
Yeah.
She is the resident doctor.
I'm gonna remain a cat for a hot second. So is there any sort of like bathroom or dressing room near the quarters that I'm currently in?
I mean, there's just the hallway that leads to the bathroom. You're currently in the Duchess's dressing room, but if you were to get up and say, like, scratch at the door, she might, like, just let you out or something.
Okay. I might go out and go find the Duke for now.
Okay.
So I go down and scratch at the door.
She gets up and she lets you out.
And then I head out and go to find the Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever he was currently.
He is downstairs just talking to another servant, and And Ariel, you see Aramis in the hallway come out of the Duchess's room, and you guys are kind of walking together. Where is everyone else again? You guys were chilling by the cat castle.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that we had left that area and gone back to kind of the common Great Hall.
Yes.
Dined, just kind of made a base of operations there.
Right.
I feel like I might go back to the kitchen and ask any of them if they have seen Nisa recently.
Yes, I would very much like to have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Wait, question, Hannah.
Yes.
As a cat, am I able to speak, or do I only meow?
You can only meow, but Bruin can talk to small animals. So she may, with like an intelligence check, be able to understand what you're saying.
You want me to
Yeah.
roll for it?
With small beasts, it's like ideas. and
Yeah. So
information.
yeah, she wouldn't be able to get like the exact like word for word sentence, but she could get a rough translation.
All right, then I'm gonna change my path and go to Bruin really quick.
Okay.
And then, rub up on you. Just meow.
Okay.
I need to tell you something.
Okay. Do I roll for intelligence?
Yeah, just like
Do I just roll the d20?
and then add your you can add your insight to that.
Oh, my insight. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a 20.
Yeah, you can understand her pretty good.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass on whatever the knowledge was in my note, which I've already confused with what was in Chloe's.
No,
It said L, please enjoy M, and it had the date August 11th at the bottom, and there were random holes cut out, and it was in the book.
Okay.
cool.
So, of that, if I can only get concepts across, I'm gonna say, note, the initials, and that it's a future date.
Okay. Gotcha. Got it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna head back to the kitchen to ask the other staff if they've seen Nisa. Yeah, just to see if we can find out where she is, since she hasn't really been identified yet.
Sorry if you can hear the dog.
All right.
He's quite upset.
Oh.
Puppy.
Okay. I think he's okay.
Are you at your sister's hand?
No, I'm at my brother's, but
Nice.
he just tried opening the door all by himself, and then when he didn't get it, he was super upset. Okay, so Ariel, do you meet back up with them in the kitchen as well, or are you going down to talk to the Duke?
I'm gonna meet back up with them in the kitchen, and then I'll go talk to the Duke after.
Okay. So you are now all in the same place. So you can all speak to each other. You all can communicate everything that you figured out, everything that you want to do. Flora is kind of asleep. She's been waiting. And that's about all who's in there. The two women and their husbands are also kind of falling asleep at this point, but they're trying to stay awake, but they're just kind of sitting in there as well.
That's just fine. Let them rest. Only one person is guilty here.
I am going to, as a cat still, speak to Bruin and just say, is anything else I should do before I change back? Anyone have anything?
Do you think Orma should do anything as the cat before?
I think she's good, but
I think that we have gotten the extent of knowledge that we can from that.
You're good.
Try to have you approach the Duke himself, but who knows if he will be as receptive.
Right.
Is there anyone else around us currently?
Flora is dozing off near you, and the two farmers and their wives are kind of on the other side of the room.
Okay. I'm gonna go
Also,
into...
you should take off that robe before you transform,
Oh,
or you might rip it.
I need to take it back. Oh, and I still got to go to the kitchen to get salmon and milk. So
Okay,
Ask for it to be warmed, he might like that.
I'm gonna go into the hallway, which I presume is empty at this moment. I take off the robe thing, paw it off, and turn back into me.
Okay.
And then I give the
Charles.
Charles, thank you. Charles his robe.
He comes out and he kind of positions himself for you to be able to put it on for him.
I put it on oh so gingerly, and with the nicest little tap.
He stretches and he nuzzles into his robe, and he kind of looks at you, Bruin, kind of just like,
I'm working on it, buddy.
Yeah.
We're on our way to the kitchen.
thank you.
As they do that, I'd like to go and wake Flora.
Okay. She wakes pretty easily. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I must have dozed off.
Yes, that's quite all right. It's been an eventful night. Do you have any way? And as I speak, I'm going to catch myself and use message to relay the rest of this information. So in her head, she hears me say, "Do you have any way to check someone for pregnancy, particularly a specific recently deceased person?"
She kind of thinks to herself, she's like, it might be quite hard because she's dead, but, let me see.
She can reply in her head.
Okay, that's what she does then. Yeah, that's what she does. She like nonchalantly, she tries to not bring attention to herself from the women and their husbands in the corner, but she starts kind of like feeling in specific places, and is it still going? Is she still able to, or is that just
I can cast it again. It's a cantrip.
Okay.
So.
She asks like how you knew.
Is that a confirmation?
Yes.
There was a note claiming that in code, and I'm afraid that for everyone's safety right now, I am going to withhold the rest of the information. But I will be sure to let you know once we have come to a conclusion.
What more can I help with?
For right now, get some rest, and when morning comes, hopefully, you will not have to stay here any longer.
Thank you. Are you interested in my logbook, just to see if anyone was there?
Sure.
Okay. And she kind of exits to go retrieve her logbook and come back. It's pretty full. She's had a lot of business, but go ahead and make an investigation check there, Valric.
Sure. 16 plus 5, 21.
All right. So, about a week ago, you see that Nisa Fern was in her shop and purchased something.
Right. Out of curiosity, do I know what she purchased and how much it was for?
It talks about like herbs for the dinner party and some like ointment for perhaps the Duchess's legs, and that's all about it lists.
All right. Was it enough money to look like it was an official errand?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to close the book and hand it back to Flora and thank her very graciously for her time. Now, please do get some rest.
Thank you. And she assumes her position.
Do we know where Nisa is yet? Or have we known?
You know that you want to find her, but you haven't asked around about her yet.
Maybe we can find the servers from the party, or should we go to the kitchen maybe and ask around?
Well, we know that Nisa is
The handmaiden, I know.
the handmaiden of the Duchess, and particularly the head handmaiden.
Right.
I
She'd
feel
be-
like ask-
Should we go ask the Duke where she might be?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because he's still suspect.
Yeah.
Yes, him and the Duchess are both particularly suspect, and if they catch that we are onto someone's involvement, their life might be a danger as well.
Maybe Charles. Charles probably knows where everything is.
Yeah, ask Charles.
Maybe we should get him his.
Ask him. Yes, get him what he requested, but maybe ask him where her quarters are.
That's
because
what I'm thinking. Yeah, because he knew the
He's-
palace well.
He's pretty late.
Or because he could also walk you around and kind of
Yeah.
like nuzzle up and find her for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Another
So we
thing.
gotta get him his salmon and milk.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to ask more questions if he doesn't get it.
We want to ask Flora at anything about what this leg ointment was for, or what
Oh,
specific
yes,
ointment
yes,
she
we
got.
could.
Yes.
Flora might also know which one Nisa is.
True.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna cast a message.
Wake her up.
Like, wake her up gently. Be like, Flora, I apologize. I apologize.
Yes.
I should have waited until we communed with the rest of my group to let you go.
That's all right. What is it?
Two things. One, do you think that you could give us a brief description of Nisa, perhaps? Or if you know where she is, that would also be wonderful, but I don't expect that of you since you don't live here.
Nisa she has dark hair, always pulled back into a bun, and she wears the white dresses. I believe she was here to greet you at the beginning of the party. I haven't seen her, though, but she's the head handmaiden.
Yes. And then in your ledger, it mentioned a week ago she had purchased some herbs and an ointment. Could you, know, just what that ointment is to relieve?
Yes, well, the Duchess, as you know, has an extensive rose garden, and recently there was something that happened, and she has some scrapes on her legs from the rose garden.
I see. Thank you. Unless anyone else has anything to ask, I have asked all of my questions.
Let's let her go to sleep.
Thank you.
Good job.
She assumes position again.
Could I go investigate the rose bush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think the interesting thing to note there is that she's been using the ointment for a week. This
Yeah.
is like a development that happened tonight.
Hold on.
In any case.
So should we walk around and try to find Nisa?
Yeah, what would you like to investigate in the rose garden, Lauren?
Oh gosh, I don't know. How big is it?
I would be more than happy to assist. I need a breath of fresh air.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
the rose garden is pretty big. It's there's a whole bunch of different colored roses. Some of them are clearly not native. They're not growing as well, but they're like there's pink, there's the pink and white, there's red. It's just all over. And go ahead and make an investigation check there, Lauren.
Okay, I have a +2 on investigation. Is that the 20?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, that's 5.
Okay, so it looks like a nice rose garden. Unless Valric would like to assist.
Yes. I would be more than happy to assist.
So you can roll again.
Oh, okay, thank you. 10.
Okay, yeah, still a rose garden.
Aye. Alright.
But Volric, I'll let you make your own since you guys might like look together and then kind of exit and like walk around there.
Oh, well, that's not a very good roll either. 14.
Okay, well, it looks like there is more than one way to get to the rose garden.
Alright. Could I check out these other entrances?
Yes. So it's not easily noticeable, but there's like a lot of rose bushes that are close together, and then there's one that is just separate enough that someone could squeeze through, and just from your quick glance, it looks like there's a path.
Alright.
Could we follow said path? Or-
Yes. Carefully, as...
Oh, yeah, ouchie.
Yeah. You would probably need, I'd say, dexterity, to see if you can make your way without getting any scrapes. That would be at the top, Lauren. So
And do I go off the pluses or the
yeah,
number at the bottom?
so if you see in the top left, there is a box that says saving throws. Right underneath strength and dexterity.
Yes. Found it, yes.
Yes. So you would use a saving throw if something can hurt you and you're trying to evade it, as opposed to using a check if you're like, I want to actively like jump over the rose bush, then you would be making a check. But if you're passing through and it's something that could hurt you, then you make a saving throw to see if it doesn't.
Okay.
So add what number is next to dexterity there, which actually it looks like is the same,
Yeah.
to a d20 roll.
Okay. 13.
Okay, yeah, you're able to squeeze your way through without... You can feel the light scrapes of the thorns, but it doesn't draw blood or anything like that.
Great.
I would also like to pass through if that's alright.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
That's a nat 1.
Ooh, alright, so you kind of miss...
Dice and
You know what? As I start to walk, I am going to activate my blade song.
Okay.
So I'm going to place a hand on the sword that's at my hip,
Mm-hmm.
and a very faint humming is going to start. I have advantage on dexterity.
Sounds good.
That's much better. That 14.
Okay, yeah, you're able to make it through. You can feel the like scratches, and the bottom of your pants may have a little piling now, but it's not ripped or anything like that.
Great.
And the path that you see leads to what it looks like just the side of the estate.
Oh my god.
That's where she's meeting the guy, though. That's why she has this. Maybe she's meeting the guy that was sending her letters there.
The butcher?
For a
No,
door.
or
Blacksmith, yeah.
blacksmith.
Would I know what the blacksmith looks like?
You may have seen him at the festivities in a little like a booth selling swords and stuff like that. He is very tall and he's human, and he has dark hair and a scar across his eye.
All right. I'm gonna kind of clear my throat, and I'm going to say to Nithria, if you would please turn your back.
You got it.
I am going to cast Disguise Self, and my appearance is going to change. I'm going to form myself to look like him.
Okay.
Oh, that's so smart. I could. Oh, you're so good at this.
So You haven't been in the Duchess's chambers, have you, Valric? So you don't really know.
My spider has.
Your spider has. So you actually know that the window above where the path ends leads to the Duchess's chamber.
All right. So, as a part of the spell, I do modify my voice. So I'm going to follow the path and make my way up to the Duchess's chamber.
So you can see that there are certain bricks that stick out more than others that make for a pretty sturdy climbing situation.
All right, is that acrobatics then?
That would be.
I still have advantage on that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and thank God that I have it. That was a nat 4 followed by a 16.
All right, so
17.
you're able to make it up, and you see that the Duchess is still in her dress from the evening. She has not changed, which means she may actually be expecting you. And
Oh no.
she's sitting on her bed, kind of facing away from the window.
All right, bud, you gotta take one for the team.
All right, I'm going to climb aboard and make myself known. I would imagine that the blacksmith is not exactly subtle. So I'm going to climb up. I'm going to end my blade song, so the humming is no longer present.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to climb up and like fold my arms and rest against the little windowsill. I'm just going to look down on her for a second to see if she notices.
She doesn't. She's pretty deep in thought.
All right. Can I get her first name again, please?
Arlette.
All right, thank you. I was gonna say Arlotta.
Could you imagine?
I'm gonna clear my throat a little. And
Arlotta!
I love you.
looking gorgeous as ever, Arlette.
Tristran! It is you! Come in, come in!
I'm gonna stand up and make my way towards her.
I wish I could have invited you to the party tonight. It was terrible. I got things all over my dress, and I had to change like 3 times because there were women at the party wearing the same color as me. And worst of all, Marielle, she's dead.
What?
I don't know. She was in the garden, and I was upstairs changing dresses, and then I come back and she's dead. And I know my husband was seeing her, but I mean, I was seeing you, and she made him happy. But I'm afraid everyone's going to think I did it.
Hey, that's very troubling.
I'm not sure what to do. But I don't know who would want to kill her. I don't understand.
If I may, Arlette. Just off of the information that you've given me now, are you sure it wasn't your husband?
Well, from what I could tell from the letters that I, unfortunately, read, they loved each other. I mean, of course, it was all fun, and if he found out something, then it may... But
what if she was with child?
Pregnant? Whatever makes you say that?
Just suspicion. I'm trying to consider the possibilities.
Well...
I want to protect you, Arlette.
I'm feeling this, buddy.
I'm going to roll for my own charisma.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That is a 13 plus 2.
Okay.
15.
Let's see. Yeah, no, yeah, you're good. Yeah.
I want to protect you, Arlette. And right now, I feel like the only way that we can clear your name is to figure out who actually did.
Well, as you know, the Duke strictly never wanted children.
Aye.
It's made very difficult for me, but I do have Charles. I get to act as though I am his mother. And she kind of gets very solemn and she's like, I never told you, but I was pregnant once before, and it did not end well for me.
I have mustered the courage to reach out and hug her.
And she hugs you back, and she kind of weeps a little bit. She's reminded of that experience, and she composes herself. She's like, how could we prove it? I mean, and she kind of grabs your hand. If this is true, then I could be a free woman.
Aye, you could. Have you...
While you're on top, buddy.
Who has been investigating this? I trust that
Well,
investigation has been done.
a group of adventurers that my husband invited. I could not make it to the festival today, but he said that their bard, although wearing my favorite color, was lovely in telling her stories, and I get very jealous.
It wasn't even storytelling.
I'm gonna roll deception here to choke down a laugh.
Okay.
That is a 15.
All right. You kind of can hide it as one of those like like yeah. Like one of those
about the favorite color.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, I sent Nisa to try to get something to clear my name, but she hasn't returned.
Where did you send her?
Well, I sent her to Mary's house to see if she could find anything there about someone else who may have wanted to kill her. But it's been hours and she isn't here.
Oh no.
I'm afraid.
My love, I probably shouldn't be seen here.
Of course.
I'm not exactly subtle in how I feel for you. Some people are well aware that I make visits here. So, I tell you what, I will make my escape, and I will check up on this Nisa for you.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right.
I'm going to very gently kiss her forehead before taking a step back and saying, good night, my
Good
love.
night.
And I suggest that you work with those adventurers. They seem very competent.
All right.
that was my last second level spell slot.
All right. And she
Damn.
says thank you, and she kind of, like, clutches her heart a little bit as you climb back down.
Okay, but for real though, that was cute. But also, like, she's gonna be so upset when she when she tries to talk to him next time, and he remembers nothing.
All right, it's all right. We're doing good for her anyway.
True.
Okay, I'm gonna
Alright,
go.
so off to Mary's we go.
Yes. After I climb down, is anyone in eyesight of me?
Well, Nithria is still there, but you kind of hear a rustling
Oh,
in the
shit.
bushes, and
Is it Charles?
Dry Strand comes out and kind of sees you and is like, because you still look like him. And he, like,
Okay, fuck. I have an idea.
Oh, I can cast my fog thing.
Not there.
You're not
You're
there.
not there.
Oh, right.
Let me help you, Spencer. How
Wait
can
a
I
second.
help you?
Hannah, you see my character sheet, right?
I do. Let me see. Where is my mouse? Oh, okay,
I
there
can
it is.
probably do something, Spencer. I just don't really know.
Yes, that's what I feel.
Yes, what are you looking for?
Do you see my third reaction?
Oh, I can make you invisible. Oh, he already saw him.
I do.
Do you think that I could use that to frighten someone? I know it's not explicitly in the text, but...
Since you have a +2 to your intimidation, I would allow for your reaction to involve an intimidation roll.
Alright. That is a nat 19.
Okay. What are you going to say?
It's not a say.
Okay.
As he looks at me, all the color drains from my face, and I melt down into a figure much smaller than the blacksmith is, losing all color completely from my hair, my eyes, everything. I am just like a small creature that is completely white, and I just begin to walk towards him.
Oh my god.
Nithria, I'm gonna need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alright.
Because of what you just saw your friend turn into.
What, the
Yeah, saving
plus
throw.
3 on...
Yes.
Also, I
Alright.
feel like you should, you know,
20.
oh, good job.
Okay.
Okay, so
And
you...
do something to make him think that he's on something, that he's not just crazy.
So you see this, Nithria, and for a second, you're kind of like, what the heck? And then you're kind of like, cool, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Like this is helpful right now, in this moment. Might have some problems later, might have to talk about it, but sure, okay.
Yeah.
So you're not affected. He, however, starts to, like trip, almost, as he, like, walks away, and is kind of like, what are you?
And I'm just going to say in the most guttural voice I can muster, and I'm gonna, like, grunt at him in Draconic. Run.
He fucking runs. And he runs. And
Oh.
cool. Do you change back to your
Yeah,
Volric?
after he runs, I'm going to, like, my shape kind of forms back into the Volric that you know and love.
Nithria,
I'm
how
gonna
do
give
you
you some big ass applause. Damn. And give you a big apology for not thinking of something else.
If I was there, I would have cast my fog cloud.
You weren't frightened by that.
You know what, man? It's your business, not mine, and seemed quite helpful. So.
Right. I guess I might have to be more forthcoming with a lot of you in the future.
Sounds great. You want to head back?
Let's
All right, let's go get him.
So you're able to because you were able to the first time around, you are able to evade the thorns yet again in the rose garden.
All right. Can we head back to... Is everyone in the kitchen hall area?
Yeah, everyone was still kind of chilling out there. They were trying to find Nisa. They were asking around. I think they wanted to ask Charles, actually, if he knew where.
Before we step in to talk with the rest of the
Yes?
party, I'm just going to ask you, Nithria, to not relay that experience with the rest of the party just yet.
All fine by me. By the way, what happened?
Oh, I'll tell you when we're with the rest of them.
Okay, great.
And, Bruin, you are, there is one of the cooks, Philidia, actually. You kind of, during this whole thing went in and you were like, hey, do you think I could get, a salmon and some milk or something? And she kind of is like, is this for Charles?
No, it's for me. I mean, I didn't get to eat that much. There was a lot of drama tonight.
And she looks at you and she winks and she goes in the back, takes a couple minutes, and comes back with fresh salmon and a saucer of milk. Warmed.
Thank you, darling.
You're going to drink out of the saucer.
You're right, Valric.
And when you bring it to Charles, the stretches are just immense. And he is so excited. He he says thank you, but everyone else just hears and he just digs into this salmon periodically, wiping his chin best he can, because he is, the Duchess's son, so to speak. And once that is, once you have gotten the salmon and the milk saucer, is about the same amount of time it takes for Valric and Nithria to return.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, you relay your thing.
Yeah, hello everyone. I have a whole bunch of new information. We found a hidden path in the Rose Garden that leads up to the Duchess's chambers. Let's take a step outside, just so that we're not overheard.
And Charles kind of looks up and, purrs a little bit and then goes back to eating his salmon. At first he was going to be like, oh, really? But he's not going to take it personally that you don't want to talk around him. It's fine.
After we are away from prying ears, I relay to them that whole exchange. So the Duchess is having an affair with the blacksmith, and the Duke was having an affair, emphasis on was having an affair with Mary, which we had kind of already figured out, but now it's concrete. The Duchess knew. And she is now under the power of a pretty strong suggestion spell and should be more willing to work with us in the future. So yeah, we're gonna go to Mary's house and try to find Nisa there.
Cool.
Awesome.
I think
Knife throwing guy before we go. We still have
I want to talk, and I still
Yeah.
want. I think I want to talk to the Duke before we go because I have
Have we
a
found
little.
him? Where is he?
He's passed out
Yes.
in
It
his
also
vomit.
either wise to confront him, especially if he is our prime suspect.
The knife guy or the Duke?
Oh, the
The
Duke.
Duke, I think. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think I know how to get some information out of him.
Out of the Duke or out of Bixel?
Out of the Duke.
I do not want to minimize your idea. I just do not think it wise to confront him with any evidence that we might have against him.
Oh, don't worry. I won't be using any evidence at all. That won't be necessary.
Her titties.
I just want you to think, because I don't want anyone's heads getting lopped off.
Yeah, good idea.
I know what I'm doing.
Oh, girl.
I'm not
So,
sure. I'm
You know
just
what?
suggesting caution.
I appreciate the caution, but
Go for it.
so is he still in the kitchen or?
no, he is now in kind of at the top of the stairs outside of his chamber, talking to who you were introduced to as Finian Gaylot. And Finian is kind of sweating a little bit, and they're having a pretty heated conversation.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of. Okay.
I'm gonna stay behind, just out of eyesight, but nearby.
Okay.
I will also stay nearby, ready. I'm going to hold charm person.
Okay.
I have a. Yeah. I have a thing where I can do like an enthralling performance, and the person will be charmed by me for an hour if they fall for
Oh,
it.
lovely.
Okay.
I'm just ready in the wings in case things go wrong.
Same.
Yeah. But and then if it fails, I don't think it tells them. They just listen to me perform.
Okay.
But okay. But I'm gonna put on a crying face and walk up the stairs. Oh. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I didn't realize you would have company.
He kind of like touches Finian and is like, "What can I do for you?"
This night's just been really, really hard, and I was wondering if we could just. You seem like such an understanding person, and I was just wondering if we could just talk privately for a moment.
Persuasion.
No, persuasion. Okay. It's a 14.
Okay. He grabs your arm, but like lightly, like not in a like fully like embrace touch, but just like kind of one of those like this to like lead you. And it's like, why don't I make you some tea?
That would be wonderful.
All right. And he brings you into a little like parlor. It's not his chambers. It's kind of just a little area for seating. And he has some tea that was already ready that he kind of pours out and he gives to you.
Thank you so much. Can I make like a. Trying to think of what kind of check I would make to make sure that the tea is not poisoned.
I mean, unless you, like, you could make maybe.
Maybe can I ask him what kind of tea it is and make an insight check?
Yeah, you could do that.
This smells lovely. What would you mind sharing the flavor?
Oh, of course, it's chamomile for calming nerves.
Just what I need. That's also a 14.
It does not smell like chamomile.
Or it could be a poison for severing nerves.
Sniff it, and I just kind of lightly place it on the table. Just, it's a little hot. I would like for it to cool down first.
Sure.
She seemed so nice.
Yes.
Who would want to hurt her? I don't understand.
I don't know, child. Mary was loved and she was envied. And we all know where envy can get you.
You must have been close to her. How are you feeling?
I'm quite heartbroken. I'm afraid my wife may have had something to do with it.
Why would you think that?
I don't know if it was obvious, but she was gone when Mary died. She is a very jealous woman, and
Well, that I gathered.
she only wears dresses down to the floor. Feel like if you looked at her legs, you might see proof of something.
Like scratches from the rose bush?
He kind of looks at you and he's like, yes. What makes you say that?
Well, rose bushes can be quite scratchy. I've walked in one before myself, and my leg was covered in them.
Right. Lucky guess, I suppose.
Oh, was I right?
Yes. If you check her legs, you're sure to see scratches from the rose bushes. She knew about, which I'm sure you know as well, our affair. Her handmaiden visited the alchemist's shop. Yes, that's right. And she was jealous. It's almost a closed case, if you ask me.
Oh, I'm so terribly sorry.
It's all right.
Oh, and here I am, just crying and being emotional, but you've been through it.
Yes. I will be happy when this whole thing is done and over with.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And then, can I also make an inside check to make sure that I think he was telling the truth about about thinking that his wife
Yeah.
killed her?
Yeah.
It's a 19.
It looks like this has been rehearsed.
Okay. Well. I need to pull myself together.
Where is the rest of your adventuring party?
Oh. I don't know. We're not even really sure where to start.
Right. What news have you so far? Any leads? Other than my wife?
Well, between you and I, she's kind of our primary suspect at the moment.
Of course.
Yes. But, well, we probably should get some rest. You should get some rest. You've had such a long day, and I would hate for someone in your position to... I can't imagine the stress you must be under.
Right. Thank you.
Well,
Feel free to use any of the guest bedrooms. There's plenty of them. I'll be happy when this whole thing is done.
yes. Thank you so much for your hospitality. If you don't mind, I'm gonna take my tea and...
Absolutely.
Thank you for speaking with me. I'm sorry for this. I need to pull myself together. This
There's-
is so inappropriate.
No need to apologize. And he opens the door.
Well, if there's anything else you may need, let us know. I'll just take the tea and I'm gonna walk out.
Okay. All right. So, are you going to go to Mary's house? For time's sake, it would definitely be more montage, not like real time, so that we could wrap it up. But
I do, because the tea smells interesting before I want to wake up what's her face one more time. and-
Flora,
yeah. And
Yeah.
ask her discreetly to investigate it.
okay. She looks at it. She sniffs it, and she's just like, bitter cascara. It only causes an extreme stomachache and the instant need for sleep, but it's not fatal.
Good to know. I didn't drink any of it, but
Right on you then.
Well, thank you. Rest. We're gonna head out.
Thank you.
And then once we left, I'll relay what I found out.
Yeah. So let's make our way to Mary's house then.
Great. You make your way to Mary's house. It's connected to her bookstore, actually. It's pretty easy to get there considering so many people have talked about it. It's right across town. There's the big sign that says Marielle's Tall Tales. And it's unlocked. She did not lock it, so it's easily entered. And there's books of all subjects. There's not much organization. It seems that she may have been in the process of organizing. And there are stairs upwards to the house part of the bookstore. Yes.
Before we do anything, I would like to cast Detect Magic. It will let me know of any magical auras and the nature of that magic within a 30-foot sphere around me.
Great.
I was about to say I wanted to cast Alarm. I don't know if that helps, though.
Yeah, you do not detect any magic. It seems that these are regular books, and if there is anything upstairs, they're non-magical.
All right.
I would like to check. Is there some kind of log, some kind of record for who's purchased?
You
book?
can investigate her desk that's by like the
I would
register.
like to investigate her desk. Do I?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, a 2. I had a investigation +2, so that's a 4.
Okay. Again, it looks like she was in the process of reorganizing, so there's a lot of like papers on her desk, but actually, interestingly enough, you're not looking for it, but way at the bottom, you see 2 tickets for a ferry for August 11th.
All right, I will relay this information to the rest of the group.
Okay. And you can pass it off as you were looking for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for something relevant to said date, August 11th, and I found it. It's right here.
Oh, excellent.
And can I get a perception check from everybody really quick?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a 19.
8.
Great. So,
That's a 9.
okay.
11.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
it sound Lauren, what did you get again?
8.
8. Yeah, okay. So, Valric and Aramis, you hear a thumping upstairs. Like for lack of a better word, it sounds like someone is stomping on the ground.
The girl.
I'm gonna place a hand on my sword and make my way upstairs.
Okay.
I'll follow behind.
Yeah.
You opened the door to Mary's bedroom, and you see what you can assume is Nisa tied up with a gag in her mouth.
I'm going to, before I enter the room any further, I'm going to point at her and cast message. I'm going to make sure that she knows she can reply. It's going, is your attacker still here? Excellent. I'm going to walk into the room.
I'm gonna untie the gag.
Okay. She kind of chokes a little bit as it was like a little too far, and she's like, "Thank you. The Duchess. Is she alone with the Duke?"
I'm gonna snap my fingers and send my raven back to the
Okay.
back to the
And Raven.
palace, I guess.
Other people around right now, but they could be alone.
His servant, Finian, he was waiting for me here. While I was getting herbs for the Duchess, he stole the nightshade. he's been... They've been torturing me to try to get me to tell them information about Drystrand, the Duchess's other man. But I'm afraid for her. She doesn't know, but I've been counting. She's pregnant.
We're all praying.
Brand new information.
I don't hear this. I'm in the mind of my raven right now.
Yeah.
All right, Savannah.
She's telling Aramis, and she's kind of like, I mean,
What a shock.
Yeah, that's news to us.
I don't know if you know, but the Duke does not care much for children.
Yes, that we knew. How long ago were you tied up here? When did he leave?
A couple hours, and it was Finian. The Duke stayed to keep up the appearance that everything's fine, but I'm afraid for the safety of the Duchess.
All right. I'm gonna make sure she's all untied. And guide her back downstairs to the rest of the
Okay.
group.
Bruin, did you end up casting alarm?
I don't think I rolled for it, but yeah, I said I was gonna. Do I have to roll for that? I don't know.
You don't. You just have to say that you did. So if you did, during this, your alarm spell goes off in your head.
Alright.
Alright, guys, alarm is going off. Okay. Someone is in the room, is in the building, sorry. Everyone ready your weapons, I guess.
I convey all the information to you all.
Dungeon Master?
Yes.
Has my raven reached the Duchess's?
I'll say that it has now, and the raven can see the Duke mixing a drink.
Is he in the Duchess's dressing room with her?
Not yet. The Duchess
Alright.
is still in her dressing room, and she's brushing her hair.
Alright. Then remind me, is there only one door into the Duchess's chamber, or are there
Yes, there is a door into the chamber, and you can access through the window.
Great. My raven is going to fly in through the window. It's going to beeline straight for the door to the room, and once it hits, since I am in his mind, I am going to cast Arcane Lock on the door.
Okay. The Duchess kind of gets up and, like, isn't really sure what's happening, but she did, I think, see a raven with you earlier, and she's going to hear fake Drystrand's words to trust the adventurers, and she's going to sit back down and try not to freak out.
It's going to cast Arcane Lock on the door, then it's going to fly back over to the windowsill and keep watch.
Okay. So,
Arcane Lock makes it so the door is locked, only I can open it, and if anyone tries to break it down or pick the lock, the DC is increased by 10.
Awesome. Very cool. Great. So, yes, Bruin, your alarm spell goes off.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to relay to the rest of them that someone is in the building, and then stealthily sneak downstairs to see if I can see anyone while they're not.
Okay. Do you have dark vision?
Sorry?
Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Great. So make a perception check, and you don't have to with a disadvantage, because the lights are not on in the bookstore.
No disadvantage?
Yeah, so just a regular roll.
Okay. I rolled an 8, and I have the +2.
Okay, so you don't see clearly, but you see what could be an outline of a figure, like, next to the door against the bookshelf.
Okay. I'm going to go back upstairs and relate that there is someone definitely close to the bookshelves to the rest of the group, since they won't be able to see in the dark, I don't think.
Okay.
I will have snapped out of
Okay.
my bird by now, so I can hear that.
Okay.
Can I, you know what, cast a snare?
Since you're moving down, I'm gonna give you another inspiration die just in case you encounter him. Yeah, so you can use it for whatever you want.
Okay. So I've come back up since I saw that there was someone down, and I want to cast snare
Okay.
in the doorway of the room we're in.
Okay.
I think. Okay, so that buys us a few minutes to figure out our plan.
Yes. All right. So you're all upstairs, and you hear, Bruin, a little bit of a commotion where you put the snare, and Finian is now floating upside down 3 feet above the floor, and a dagger drops to the floor.
Great, okay. Anybody want to do something? I don't know what to do.
I think that we should go down.
Does he stay in the snare?
Yeah, he is restrained.
Okay,
He will
well,
be
I
stuck.
can grab his dagger.
Good idea.
Is there a way to check him if he has any other weapons? or not?
He is kind of covered in 25 feet of rope via your spell, so you could check, but it might be pretty difficult to actually tell.
I have an idea.
Okay.
I am going to very gently poke him on the nose, and he needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
He fails.
Great. He is now charmed. He thinks that we are good friends of his, and will pretty much do what we ask. So, Finian, old friend, why are you here?
Oh, I'm here to kill Nisa.
Did the Duke send you on this?
Yep.
Oh, here. I'm gonna try to free one of his arms, and I'm going to hand him a piece of parchment from my bag, and I'm going to say, could you write that down for me, please?
Yeah.
Don't forget to sign it. We would love to have your autographed, old friend.
Oh, sure. That's a
Thank you so
17
much.
performance check with his writing, considering that he is upside down. And it says, I, Finian Galet, do hereby confirm that the Duke had me kill Marielle and was going to kill Nisa. And then he signs it. Will this help?
It's a great.
I take it from him.
Where is the local law
I very
enforcement,
gently
friend?
pat it, and I'm like, you are doing the kingdom a great service.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Where's the local law enforcement? Who do we bring this to?
Oh, that's just
I
down the
think
street.
Oh,
Great. Perfect.
I think we should probably take it to the Duchess. I think she's really the only one who has the authority to arrest the Duke.
and also in immediate danger, so.
Yeah. Maybe let's scurry on back there.
Yeah.
We should probably,
I
make
think
sure we
that
keep
perhaps-
Lisa.
Dear friend Finian, would you mind sitting down in the chair upstairs that you had Nisa tied up in earlier for me?
Okay.
I think we should tie him up. Leave him the same way he left her.
Sounds good to me, but
Hey, we're gonna play a fun game with you.
Okay.
It's called Pretend Prisoner.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
It's really fun. You just we're just gonna tie you up, and then we're gonna come back, and then
Okay.
we're gonna be like, "Hey, we kidnapped you," and it's gonna be really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a really cool game.
Like, you can't say anything because then the game will be spoiled, so don't make a lot of
Okay.
sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I could do that.
super
okay.
quiet, and it's gonna be super fun when we come back. Like,
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Super fun. It's such a. I can't believe you've never played this game before.
I feel so left out. I'm sorry.
After we get him all tied up, I'm gonna slide the gag in his mouth, and that will end the charm person. So
Okay. Once he does, he's like, and he's like, what the fuck just happened? Oh no.
Now we're going to
Here I
hide.
am.
Like literally,
Yes.
like
Yeah,
we're making our
run.
way.
All right. So, let's see. Yeah. All right. So you manage to actually intercept Drystrand as you're walking back, who's still looking pretty like frazzled, like he thinks he like saw a ghost or something, but he's staggering towards his shop as you're running back.
Oh hey,
Tell him.
what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna lay a hand on his shoulder, and I'm gonna say, "Friend, whatever you've seen tonight is of no importance. Come tomorrow morning, everything will be just fine. You didn't see anything in that garden tonight."
These are not the droids you are looking for. All right, he's like, and he just like he like nods and mutters to himself and walks towards his shop.
I'm gonna yell after him before he leaves. Hey, I don't know if there was something you were planning on doing or someone you were planning on seeing, but you should go do that now and make sure they're okay.
And he starts heading back towards the estate.
Alright.
And he's a little bit ahead of you guys now, but he makes his way to the rose garden through the bushes towards the window.
Great.
And we're still hustling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right for the Duke.
He's the guy that I disguised myself as.
Should we all climb up too to tell the Duchess what we know so we can just kind of barricade around her in case the Duke comes in and it'll be like a surprise attack?
I think that might be wise, yes.
Or we could also just tell law enforcement and then have him be arrested. But
Frankly,
it'd be kind of fun to fight.
I think it would also be fun to fight. However, I don't think that law enforcement would really take an accusation of the Duke very seriously.
No.
All right. So let's just like hustle back.
Yeah.
You're able to make it back with little to no difficulty. There's nothing on the street right now. It's very late, so there's nothing that could like hinder you getting there quickly, and you managed to get there in like almost no time at all.
Great. I'd like to show them the path that I took earlier and climb into the Duchess's chamber.
She kind of like, she steps back and you guys enter and you see that her and Drystrand were holding hands on her bed, and she's like, "Oh, excuse me, might I ask what you're doing in my bedroom?"
Retrieving my bird.
Oh, of course. Yes,
We have a confession for you, literally. I'm gonna like dig through my bag and hand her the slip of paper.
The Duke wants to kill you.
She looks at Drystrand and he's like, "All right.
I might also add that my bird witnessed him mixing a drink in the next room over, so we fear that you might be in immediate danger.
All right then. Nisa," and Nisa is now in the room. She's like, "Yes, milady. I need you to get Philidia. Philidia has a cousin that works with the guardmaster. Maybe she can help quickly get word that the Duchess needs help." Nisa like nods and goes to climb back down to go get Philidia and help with that. And the Duchess is like, How did you do this? How did you find this out?"
Lots of shenanigans.
I'm sure. And so, just to montage it, because we are a little over time, basically, she's able to get the guards, and the guards are able to come, and she has you open the door and has the guards wait. She has Drystrand hide, and she's going to put up the facade for the Duke until the perfect moment for him to be caught. So, just to describe it to you, she leaves you in her bedroom and kind of like quietly and she exits and she's like, "Darling, won't you come to bed?" And he's like, "Oh, yes." And he comes out with a similar glass that Mary had earlier and some brandy. And she's like, "Brandy?" He's like, "Oh, yes, it's been such a hard day, such a hard just experience, and I thought you deserved it." She's like, "Oh, thank you." And she is able to make it look like she has taken a drink. And as she does, the Duke just starts laughing. And just like stereotypical, like evil laugh. And she's like, "What on earth are you laughing at?" And he's like, "I'm a free man. No kids, no women, and all the gold." And she's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Oh, yeah. You think I didn't know about Dry Strand and your little affair?" Well, Dry Strand's like, "Hello." And he's like, "I had my fun with Mary, but I can't do kids. I hate them." And she's putting on a really good act that looks like she's terrified. And more or less, she gets him to admit to everything that he did. It's the stereotypical villain, "Let me tell you everything that I did evil right before you die." And
They'll just pop out from under the bed like a big happy family.
Yeah. And she
There's the camera up in the corner.
pours the drink out.
Okay.
She pours the brandy on the floor and says, "You bastard," and calls the guards. And the guards flood the room, and he's like, What is the meaning of this?" And you appear, and so does Dry Strand, and Dry Strand puts his hand on her back and kind of consoles her as he's dragged away, and he says something along the lines of like, "Do you know who you're dealing with? I am the Duke," and just like all of these, just like all of this stuff, but they have a confession, they have everything they need, and it's thanks to you.
I know, imagine he looks like the Duke in Moulin Rouge.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
The weasel.
Yes.
The weasel.
And, Arlette looks at all of you, and she approaches you, Ariel, and she kind of says, "I would like to apologize for my behavior this evening. I don't do well when other women as lovely as you are around me. It's my own insecurities that I must work on."
Girl, trust me, I totally understand. And I wasn't that nice either. So let's just let bygones be what? Bygones be bygones.
Absolutely. You are all free to stay here as long as you like. And she starts like rummaging places, and she gets she opens a box that has some gold inside, and she gets out 500 gold pieces to divide amongst you. She says, "You have no idea what you have done for me." And she like holds her stomach and holds Dry Strand's hand and says, "And my future family, please
She'd be pregnant
stay
too.
as long as you like. Thank you." And that is the one shot.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, it took a little.
Once, what is that?
I know. Savannah said that she didn't really want to fight, and I was like, I understand that, and I am a huge fan of heavy roleplay, so I was like, if you fight, then you fight, but you managed to get your way out of the one fight that I had set up for you guys. But sorry it went a little over time, but I thought that was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad she was able to redeem herself.
Yeah, I mean, I had to, like, it was too obvious, you know? Like,
It was like, yeah, it was, we were like,
yeah.
It's like it has to be her, but it can't be her because it has to be her.
Right, right.
You know?
Danny says, "How dare you give me more content?"
Love you, Danny.
I'm going to say goodbye to the Twitch chat. Thank you all for watching. I had a blast.
We've had
Good
like
night.
20 viewers the entire time. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
How many?
We had we had anywhere from 15 to 20 the entire time.
That's bananas.
Thank you guys.
Bye. Hope to see you tomorrow morning.
Oh yes.